You hang up on me, right?
Yeah. Oh god, no, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Let's just suck each other's cocks. Okay,
Like
I'll see.
Julia Child on a rape marathon. It's terrible.
Yeah, over the phone.
Oh, I'm going to have a bit of a cock here. Oh,
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Podtoid episode 166. This is not a happy podcast. Today is the sad cast because we had a really good Podtoid recorded, apart from all the racism. But it's not there anymore. It is gone because my Skype recorder decided to record a 0-byte file, which had nothing in it. So you missed some good stuff. We talked about Beverly Hills Cop quite a bit.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Certainly did.
We finally addressed the Michael Richards situation.
Yeah,
topic.
It's been the elephant in the room for quite some time.
I mean, that was the topic that I think we had to... people were waiting for it. It had to come up. And unfortunately, it's not there anymore. Maybe we'll return to the topic. I know there's a lot of people hungry for opinions on that, but... What can you do? What can you do? I don't know. Oh, God. I'm not in the mood for it.
So Jonathan and Tara aren't here.
Yeah, that's another thing that he's talking about. Yeah.
We should address that because it's really... They died.
Yeah.
They did.
And if you're thinking, oh, that just means Max and Jim are going to get even more wacky and crazy, don't expect that. We're both really tired and annoyed because we already had our sort of energetic, childish burst for the week on Tuesday when we recorded the proper one, and that's gone. And now we are tired. And I've been working like a fucking dog. I got like 3 reviews I did this week, and I'm still writing. Max has been doing his thing. He even recorded something else, like a film commentary.
Yeah, I watched Tango and Cash last night with my girlfriend, and I don't know if she does this thing where I don't know if she's seen movies or not, and I'm like, have you seen this? And she's like, no. And then we put it on, and 3 minutes in, she goes, oh, I've seen this. So I'm not even sure if she'd seen it or not, but we watched Tango and Cash and made fun of the entire thing and got in an argument halfway through, and it was actually probably pretty entertaining. But then I, recorded it, and the recording worked, and then I was saving it, and then GarageBand crashed. So I've spent approximately 5 hours of my week shouting into the digital abyss of nothingness.
And it's never coming back. That comedy gold, my friends, has melted and then just evaporated. And I know gold doesn't evaporate when you melt it, but in the terms of this conversation, it does. So just pay attention to my physics, not real ones.
It's like cursed gold.
Like dire gold.
Right, yeah.
Can you that would be amazing. Dire gold. No matter what you press the coin shape, it always comes out as a skull.
That's creepy. I was just thinking gold that maybe turned into something else, like if you removed it from its cavern, it'd be a kind of thing where you'd be in this treasure cavern and you just load up your pockets with this spooky gold, and the second you leave, it just starts turning into blood or something.
Or spiders. Money.
Ooh, that'd be gross. Spider gold.
money spiders as well for added irony, and they'll go, "Oh my god, these are money spiders, but I cannot spend these." The irony. Fuck. That's what about I was writing Krull.
What if the gold just turned into shit, and you just smelled like shit because your pockets were full of gold?
Shit, yeah, gold shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'd like a flagon of ale, so you go to the
slam down a turd on the bar.
Yeah. And he'd be like, what the fuck is this? This is poo. You can't... Poo's no good at the Wily Wyvern. That's the name of the town, Wily Wyvern. And he'd be like, get out! And you'd have to go to...
Wily Wyvern?
Yeah. And you'd have to go to the Stilted Dwarf, which accepts poo as currency, because the barman is a rose gardener as well. So...
Well, anything's better than that fucking prancing pony, because I was in there the other day. I was in the prancing pony, and these these halflings came in, and they weren't wearing shoes. So first of all, it was like kind of a health code violation in that sense.
Yeah, that's great.
And not only that, they started dancing on the tables where people were eating off of them, and they were singing and stuff, and it was it looked like they're having a good time, but put some shoes on.
What? Hang on. They were dancing in bare feet. Presumably, when was this? Was this last night or the night before? Because it's been raining the past few fucking nights. So they were clumping around in the mud. I know where the Prancing Pony is. That's not a well-paved area. It's mostly dirt. So they were walking around in the fucking mud and then just trampling it into the tables. I mean, I know the Pony isn't like the most high class of establishments, but I've had boar there.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was worse than the time that I went into the Subway and the man was just vomiting into the pepperoncinis. That was slightly worse as far as health code violations that I've witnessed go.
Jesus Christ. I went to a bar last week, actually, and there was this fucking guy in there, right? Dressed all in blue, right? Wearing a cape, so he looked like a proper dick, flicking peanuts off the bar into things and just smashing them up. I don't know where he got explosive peanuts, but the guy was a dick about it.
I think I know him.
Yeah. I've seen him around. He's a.
I always just blank on his name. I think it's like Trevor or Tyler or something. But he's the dick with the exploding peanuts in the cape. Fucking idiot. So Jim, do you want to answer some questions? Because we're talking about.
That's enough of these vague Superman references.
Yeah. It's just weird.
So what we're going to do is we never really get to answer a lot of questions because we spend so much time talking bollocks, and because Max and I are too tired to do much in the way of bollocks this week because we work for a living. We are just going to answer the questions, and then we'll get some more answered than we usually do. I don't know if Jonathan's going to show up. He said he's going to be like really late, but I'm hoping to blast through this quick so I can go and drink a Gatorade.
Yeah,
So,
I just got my copy of Dead Island not 10 minutes before. That was a big topic of discussion for us, Dead Island. But I'm done talking about that. I'm so tired of talking about that game.
yeah, I'm fucking sick of it. My Space Marine review went up today, and it's all, "How did this go better school than Dead Island?"
I don't know if that's good or bad. I just you posted a review and people are making noises about it. It's just, what are you gonna do?
People should definitely bitch more about it because that's how I take people seriously. If you directly compare the scores of two different games in two different genres and say I'm definitively saying one's better than the other, tell me about it in a really whiny way because then I know that you are a man to like really take seriously in a conversation. Yeah. You stupid fucking cunt.
Oh wow, 8 out of 10 though. That's awesome.
Fucking great game. Really like it. And unlike Dead Island, it's finished. So,
yeah.
That's why it got us a 1 point score better that people are upset about. Because I said Dead Island's good, and then I think Space Marine is great, which isn't that huge of a... whatever. Wah, Dead Island, you'll live.
Those fucking babies. Babies. Okay, so hold on, I'm looking for the questions post. I always lose that. Can you just link me to that? Do you have that open somewhere?
I can, yeah.
Okay, we could use the power of Skype to its full potential.
I just sent a link to Max.
Oh God! It made a noise like a robot worm taking a shit. Okay. There it is. Okay. All right. Let's see these questions.
Oh, this is exciting, isn't it?
Oh my God.
Okay. This is going to be a weak episode.
It's going to be a weird episode.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Nice Guy asks a question saying, given the current state of the economy and the number of AAA titles set to be released in the coming months, do you feel any games are going to be left out in the cold? Also, which games, if any, do you feel are going to get pushed back to a later date so as not to get lost in the crowd? We answered this on the episode that is no longer real, and I kind of rephrased it just to say, like, what game... I wanted to just know which game you're looking forward to that you think isn't going to get a fair shake that's coming out before the end of the year. And I think Max and I think we both agreed on the same game.
Yep.
Yep.
Aliens Infestation.
Aliens
'Cause
Infestation. Yeah.
It's a really pretty DS game, and I mean, DS games are kind of like they're set to struggle because they're for the DS and they're handheld games, but they don't get a lot of hype, But
Hmm.
it's a really nice game. It's Super Metroid with
Yeah.
Xenomorphs.
Well, of course, I mean, the added attention's been, I say added, like, attention's been further deflected by the fact that it is a DS game, not a 3DS game,
Yep.
which, to be fair, might ensure it'll sell a bit better, considering the 3DS's
This is true.
state compared to the DS. But at least in terms of getting attention from those more savvy gamers who are looking at the newest things,
Yeah.
it's hard to gain traction.
It's like entering a beagle in the Kentucky Derby. It doesn't really seem like it's going to keep up with the rest of the herd there.
Yeah. Plus, the Beagle Boys have given them a bad rap. To be fair, it's like don't jump. Huh?
What were you saying about? It's like the thing I don't like about All Dogs Go to Heaven is it tells you that the Beagle Boys will never answer for their crimes.
Yeah, that was my problem with it. Yeah.
Those fuckers.
Oh, those Beagle Boys, worse than Ian Huntley and Joseph Fritz all put together. But yeah, Aliens Infestation is the game that I'm totally with Max on that. I think it's Space Marine as well. Actually, is probably. I know I saw at least one comment that was like the game looks okay, but in this particular climate with all the games coming out, okay equals pass. So I think that one might. Yeah. It runs the risk, but then Warhammer 40,000 is quite a big franchise anyway, so. I hope
people were more excited about that than I was expecting. Honestly, we got a lot of kind of rabble about wanting to hear more about it on the Dtoid show, that's
surprising. I had sort of like Twitter had. I think after the demo came out, because I don't think a lot of people expected it to be really any good. I mean, I was excited for it, and even I had my fears, even after playing the preview build. But people played that demo and were surprised to find that it's really tight. Like, they got the melee and the range combat working together really well. So people, I think, were taken back by that and were like, hey, this game's really awesome. I want to know more about it. And yeah, I got a lot of pressure to get the review up as quickly as possible. So yeah, hopefully it does well. I really hope so. And I've been trying to pressure Relic to do the next game as Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Space Marine, which I think
this is a really good. Like, it's not a good time right now, but this particular time frame of Driver and Warhammer and Dead Island coming out right now, I think it's trying to just get there early, trying to get good seats. I think October is going to start to see some games getting sort of pushed to the wayside, and then November is when the shit really hits the fan as far as people being like, "Oh, I have to have this game."
Yeah, I mean, it's even now like. The first week of September, I've been snowed under. I really like it because I like feeling like I have a real job for a bit, even though it is playing video games. But then I've got to play Blood Rain to completion, so it's not all fun and games. Which is why I'm doubly excited for Infestation, but it'd be nice to have a way forward game that I really am enjoying to play rather than having to play because I have to. Because Blood Rain is a bit of a disappointment. What was I saying before that? Oh yeah, it's been fucking mental. Like I said, I completed Body Count and Crimson Alliance in 2 days, followed by Space Marine in 2 days. Looks like Blood Rain's going to be done in 2 days. Then I've got to do Serious Sam Double D. Then next week it's Hard Reset, possibly Driver if we don't get another guy to do it. Aliens Infestation, Gears of War 3 is supposed to be coming very soon. It's mad. It's mad.
That's a lot of video games.
Yeah. It's nice. It's good to, like I say, it's good to keep busy. Stops me bothering women in the street. Getting into
keeps your hands on the controller instead of in your lap. Doing things down there.
I didn't force her.
Yeah.
I didn't force.
Both hands on the keyboard, Jim. Both hands on the keyboard.
Yeah. Okay. Pornography, masterbation, etc. This is how fucking tired we are.
Let's do. I want to ask a question. I want to ask one of the questions.
Since it's your birthday.
Okay. Red Reaper asks. Wait. I just. Okay. That. Don't post a picture that's too big for the comment for me to see it, and then. I'm not answering that. Okay. We should petition to get the Pie Masters Guild included in Skyrim as a side quest. How about this? How about we get the Pie Masters Guild and the Squid Bear into Skyrim with a mod at some point? I just want that to happen. I feel like it will. I'm not too worried about it. Let's see. The actual question. That wasn't a question. Which of the four of you do you think would have the best chance to survive on a zombie island? Jonathan Holmes.
Yeah? I don't know if he's got the aggressive, like, he'd try and talk to them.
I think he'd be able to talk down, the crazy bikers and the crazy raiders and, like, the lunatics. I mean, he's used to dealing with people who are, like, freaking out. And at the same time, he can subdue people if he has to. And, I mean, the man he's like the kindest fist. He's the kind fist. That's his name in my head. I just imagine him beating the shit out of some zombies.
That's actually...
Calm down there. Oh, boy. Oh, don't try to bite my neck. That's terrible. Why should you do that? Oh, no, don't do that. Oh.
That is exactly what it sounds like. I was talking about him today. He is the most insulting man in the world. Like, out of everyone. I include myself in that. I include yourself in that. He is an insulting fucking cunt of a man. Lovely man. I love him to death, but the way he says things, like in the kindest way possible, underneath it are some of the most devastating, withering put-downs. I don't know whether he does it on purpose, but he was like getting into an argument with Tony Ponce, who, you know, he does a lot of weekend work on Destructoid. His current job, Tony's job, seems to be going into our tips that we get sent, news tips, and then just starting arguments with the rest of the Destructoid staff, particularly with Jonathon Holmes. And today Jonathon Holmes was like talking to him, and he's like, Tony, you shouldn't talk about things that you're just guessing at with 100% certainty, because you kind of come across as a presumptuous and arrogant man who's going to look really foolish later. And I know you're not like that, Tony, so don't make me think that. And I'm like, you nasty little bastard, in the nicest way possible. Like, he's got this way, and we've heard this on Podtoid, where it's like you'll say something he disagrees with, and then it's like, oh, really? Oh, it's really interesting that you think that. Which is like just unbelievably patronising. It's like if an incredibly rich person is talking to a chimney sweep, and it's like, oh, you're a chimney sweep, are you? How wonderful for you.
Jonathan Holmes is basically Sandra Bullock in The Blind Side. Just a patronizing, I mean, well-meaning, obviously, very attractive, but just so patronizing. We should kill him.
We should tear him limb from limb.
Let's get some dogs and then feed them to the dogs.
Oh yeah, we cut bits of his face off like Mason Verger in Hannibal, and like just cut it up, and then he can be like in a wheelchair going, oh yeah, I got my some pegs.
Oh god, I just watched Red Dragon just a couple days ago. I love that. That's a Brett Ratner movie. You would never guess that he also made Rush Hour when you're watching, like, fucking Voldemort, no doubt. Ray Fiennes himself. Being, do you see it? Do you see it?
I don't know what. I don't know that. That's
he has sex with that blind girl, and then he's just like goes and eats the painting. It's just such a weird movie. But
I am changing. Do you see, Harry Potter?
Oh god, I watched Dreamcatcher last night. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh my fucking god! It's so goddamn bad and incredible. It's basically it's a Stephen King movie in the sense that it has some of the many like recurring Stephen King elements. In this case, it's a group of childhood friends who share a dark secret. And in this, they all befriended a retarded boy who gave them special powers. And then they go into this cabin in Maine. And then this fat guy shows up and he keeps farting everywhere. I'm not making this up.
What?
I can't say it. They're literally out in the woods having like a dude retreat. And they've got these powers. Each of these guys, like one of them can read minds. The other one is sort of clairvoyant. And one of them sort of he's making chili or something, and they sees this guy in the woods, and he's just hobbling along, looking like shit. He's like, "Oh man, I was lost in the woods." Oh, and they're just like, "Oh wow, did you eat?" He's like, "I think I ate some berries," and they take him inside, and he shits himself to death. And there's like red shit everywhere, and you're never really sure, is it blood or poop or what is it? And he has ass worms, like a giant worm. Like one end of it looks like okay. I want you to picture a poop, and on one end it's got the claw of a crab, and at the other end, it opens up to sort of look like a vagina sarlacc pit, and it's really fast. And imagine that bursting out of the toilet and then biting Jason Lee in the neck.
Right.
And then Morgan Freeman shows up in a helicopter and starts going crazy. It's a really fucking stupid movie.
Wow.
Yeah. It's literally, they were a group of teen mystery solvers with a retarded friend who really liked Scooby-Doo, and then they got powers, and then they had to fight aliens. Yeah, it's great. So what were we talking about?
I don't know.
Jonathan Holmes.
Have you seen the film Amusement?
No.
Yeah, for some reason though, I've decided to buy it because it had a clown on the cover. A horror psychological thriller movie starring the gay son from Wedding Crashers, the kid that paints and tries to have sex with Vince Vaughn.
Oh my god.
As a serial killer / stalker called The Laugh.
There's that word again. Stalker. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Stalkor. Skeletor.
Can you just say Stalkor?
Stalkor, right. He is Stalkor the Magnificent, known as The Laugh, who stalks a bunch of girls that he knew when he was like 10 years old because they did not laugh when he put a rat in a box and cut it open and strung it up so its guts were hanging out and it was screaming, the rat. So he gets his revenge for that bit of bullying because the kids didn't laugh. I think we're supposed to think that the kids bullied him, but they never bother showing that. They just show this one scene where, to be honest, the kids were in the right because that wasn't funny. So anyway, he's this, crazy wannabe Jigsaw type guy who is known for his distinctive laugh, which is just like that. He is a master of disguise, so masterful that you know it's him every time you see him.
Oh, wow.
At one point, he has a wind-up gramophone that shoots spikes, and he gets a guy to look in the gramophone speaker, and it shoots spikes in his face. And that's about it. And it was surprisingly good for a while. Like, they got some good tension in there and interesting little twists. And then the film just ends, the guy looks through a hole in his truck, and the woman just stabs him in the eye with a spike through the hole, and then he is dead, and the film is over. Like, there's no big final confrontation. He puts this woman in a truck, drives off. The truck runs out of gas. But rather than do anything to fix the truck, he gets round the back, opens the peephole, and just laughs through it, and she kills him. Because he locked her in a truck full of all his weapons. And the film is amazing. It's like...
Amusement,
it's called.
Starring the gay guy from Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, the gay son from Wedding Crashers who tried to fuck Vince Vaughn in the arse. And, yeah, it's surprisingly high quality in terms of filming and pacing. Like, they do this really cool thing where they show him catching each of the girls in various sort of somewhat cool ways. But it's like once he's caught them, the writers didn't know what to do next. It's like when Wile E. Coyote catches Roadrunner and doesn't know what to do with him. It's like they got all this pacing and didn't think of the payoff. So in the end, he goes down like a fucking bitch. But it's worth watching. It's kind of cool. It's if nothing else, it can be laughed at, but not in one of those like so shit it's unwatchable. It's not like fucking Freak, which is ugh. But yeah, so that's a thing.
We really need to start doing movie commentaries, I think.
People have asked for it. We used to do that on the old Podtoid.
That needs to happen.
I think we should, in a few episodes, At least once the review stuff dies down and I got more time to look around, we'll do a movie. Unlike old Podtoid, I doubt we even have to bother tying it to games. Because heaven forbid we talk about video games. But we'll do something. I know
Anaconda.
Anaconda would be
Anaconda.
Yeah.
It'd be such a good movie. Okay, I have a question. This is from Jamie Hawkins. He said, are any of you comic book fans, specifically DC Comics? If so, what is your opinion of the whole multiverse thing going on with DC, particularly relating to the New 52 DC Comics and Batman Arkham series? Do you prefer these two new interpretations of old characters, or do you prefer the original comic books? I have turned a blind eye to this, good sir. I'm not a DC nut. I'm more of a Marvel fan, and I actually am a big fan of the Ultimate Timeline in the Marvel Universe, but I feel like DC has not been able to. They did their All-Star series a few years ago. I don't think they've been able to sort of revamp it. I haven't paid attention to the New 52. I like comics. I just don't read them that much. And I think Batman is great. That's my answer.
I don't know where to start with comics. They're like both DC and Marvel seem to have become so convoluted with reboots and restarts and spin-offs and alternate dimensions and universes and different people playing the same heroes and villains. It's like, I'm sorry, it's so impenetrable and I don't want to get into it.
It's a damn shame.
I think it.
Marvel has a thing where they do a big crossover event. It's a Marvel event, and they do it once a year, and it's just to the point where I'd like to follow one series and not have to keep track of 3 other series just to find out what's the main character's doing. I got this DVD thing a while ago. It's actually really one of the better investments I've made. It's a DVD-ROM that has the entire run of X-Men from issue 1 to issue 500 something, which is basically I think it's 1963 to 2005, and it's got every single issue of X-Men. Uncanny X-Men in high-res PDF, including all the old ads, which is really cool.
Cool.
And you can just read through that. It's totally, it's done through Marvel, totally legal. And I read that, and it's really entertaining until you get to about 1991, when X-Men got so popular they had to break it into 2 series, and it was X-Men and Uncanny X-Men. And it's like reading half a comic. It's completely impenetrable, and they had 8 different X titles, and it just became this convoluted mess, and I just lost interest. So yeah.
I mean, I particularly am drawn to villains in pretty much anything, and that's what generally interests me. As far as Batman goes, I love the whole idea of the Scarecrow. Definitely my favorite part of Arkham Asylum, and I really hope he's in Arkham City. I keep meaning to get that collection of Scarecrow stories. And I think that's the best I'm ever going to do, is get those collections, just various sort of, the ones that have been bound together as graphic novels or what have you.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's what I do. I love it. It's cheaper. It's easier. I'd
love to be into a comic book series, but I don't have the patience for that. I used to collect a lot of the Aliens ones. I've got them.
Those are great.
Somewhere.
I've been meaning to pick up the omnibus of those. Those are so cool. There's something that was back when Dark Horse was kind of actually an indie comic thing, a really small scale in the mid '80s when they did Aliens, and it was I felt like Aliens was still, it was this kind of the weird sort of dark back corner of a comic shop, kind of the way Japanese anime used to be in the early '90s. It was this weird kind of what is this? And I love that. I don't know.
Yeah, I had loads. I had fucking Aliens comics. I had Aliens versus Predator cards back when the whole collectible card game thing was huge.
I had those too. Those were awesome.
They're fucking great. I had so many.
I have one of an alien and a predator, and they're sitting there and they're playing a game of chess, and I was like, I see what you did there.
Oh, I love that picture.
Actually, I have a comic I should send to you. It's an Aliens one shot. It's called Mondo Heat, and it's basically this character they made up who's basically the ultimate badass. He's sort of like Lobo, but he's in Aliens. He's got a cyborg arm. He's a bounty hunter. and he's just this giant, like roided out kind of idiot with like a ponytail and a trucker hat, and he's sent to retrieve these two hot chicks from a space colony, and on the way, of course, he's got to fight all the aliens. The coolest thing about it, though, is it's all drawn in that kind of like Bruce Timm Batman animated series style. So it's like really cartoony, but it's aliens.
That sounds great. What's it called?
Yeah.
Mondo Heat.
It's called Mondo Heat. Yeah, I think he did. There were a couple other appearances of him, but it's such a nice, wonderfully like Saturday morning cartoon twist on aliens.
That sounds cool.
Yeah,
I love seeing aliens in different styles like that. Like I've seen all sorts of different spins off them and different cartoon variants. And why don't we just do an aliens podcast? Why isn't that happening? Why isn't aliens... Are there any aliens podcasts on iTunes? I bet we could corner the fucking market there. I bet we'd corner all 5 people.
Xenocast.
Yeah. Oh, God. Let's do that. From now on, Destructoid is all about aliens.
Yep. Oh, God. What was I going to say about aliens? What would be really cool to see is if they took... they did what they did with like the Animatrix or Gotham Knights, or they did one with Superman where it was just different animators doing short cartoons about aliens. That would be cool.
Yeah. God, I want aliens comics. As soon as we're done recording, I'm probably going to order some more aliens comics. Not that I've even read the ones I bought recently. They're just in my old Heavy Rain promotional box doing nothing. I need to read those. God, I love aliens so much. I'm going to watch Alien Resurrection tonight.
I still haven't. I still have not watched that straight through.
No? I'll tell you what. That film isn't that bad. If you approach it in the right way. If you approach it just as a silly... It's an incredibly silly film. Joss Whedon originally wrote it as a parody, as an aliens, like, joke. And then executives came in and tried to make it more seriously. But if you watch it and understand that it was originally written as a joke, it's so much more enjoyable. And, I mean, it's worth it just to see Brad Dourif being Brad Dourif. I mean, the whole newborn thing is fucking retarded, but, you know, it's, again, if you just take it as this incredibly silly action flick, it's okay. And you've got fucking Ron Perlman in it, being himself. Again, Brad Dourif, someone else I can't remember. And there's some
Winona
really
Ryder
cool...
as a cyborg. Yeah.
And it's got some actually really cool alien scenes. There's some, like the whole scene when Dourif's character is... Underwater aliens. That scene where Dourif is, like, teasing them or, like, trying to teach them Pavlovian responses by he presses this button and sprays them. And then later on, they break out and they've already learned how to use that Pavlova thing to spray the guys that they trick into going in. Like, I mean, I love anything that shows the aliens as these really smart fucking creatures that can think and outwit humans. And that was just a great scene. And the scene when the aliens first break out and just start fucking shit up everywhere. Like, I thought that was really cool. So, you know, like I said, it's not a great film. And as far as aliens films goes, you know, some of it should be disregarded.
What's your stance on 3? Because I think David Fincher's probably my favorite director right now. Him and Edgar Wright, but that movie is just wrong.
I actually disagree. As far as 3 goes, really? I think 3 is incredibly unfairly criticized. I think 3 it does so much right. It's got a really good visual style that when you watch it, it makes me think of Doom or Fallout or something like that. It's got this really nice hard sci-fi style to it.
I could see that.
I mean, the special effects are fucking shit, but obviously that was the film that came up with the whole idea of aliens being able to evolve themselves to wherever they are based on the indigenous life there with the dog alien and
it was just such a step down from Aliens, which is honestly one of the best movies of all times ever made by people, human beings.
I mean, I get that.
You got the futurism of you know, Sid Mead in Aliens with the fucking power loader and the Nikes, and like just everything looked like a kind of believable used future. I mean, you got a kid riding a Weyland-Yutani big wheel around you know, Hadley's Hope, and then you know, you follow that up with like all the tension built up by, you know, between Hicks and Ripley, and you're like, oh man, she's finally gonna be friends with Bishop, and it's like you've got it. The deck is stacked for like a really good whatever comes next, and then it just turns into this dark something else.
Well,
I
that's
feel
the thing. The thing that people really hated, obviously, was Hicks and Newt being killed off right at the beginning, which I thought was fucking great. I love that. I absolutely love that it was just like, fuck you! And then they're gone. Especially because Newt's just fucking annoying. And I actually thought it was a nice, just really brutal punch in the stomach, which is, what things are like, especially in like an oppressive universe like Aliens.
Yeah.
Things don't have, all happy and have nice resolutions and happily ever afters just because that's what audiences want.
I think Alien 3 is probably a better sequel to Alien than it is to Aliens.
Oh yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I mean, they wanted to do that. They brought it back to one alien versus a group, but it's got merit, and I think its major problem is it's the Final Fantasy VIII of Aliens in that it followed Aliens, and it had a very tough act to follow. But if you just take it as its own thing, I think it's a really good. It's a really good film that was very unfairly criticized. I mean, not to say it's a fantastic, brilliant film, but it's a lot better than people give it credit for. Plus,
I think it could have been a lot better if it wasn't Aliens. If it was a different kind of Aliens.
Yeah, maybe, but then we wouldn't have had the dog/ox alien, which means we wouldn't have had those awesome Kenner toys with all the different
Those were
aliens.
incredible. And then they made every other possible fucking animal.
Yeah.
I remember the flying queen alien.
Oh yeah, I had like nearly all of them apart from Gorilla Alien, because Gorilla Alien was never available in Europe.
Really?
Yeah, like for some reason.
That was the first one I saw, and my friend scared the shit out of me with it. And he was like, "Hey, go look in the laundry hamper." And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Just go look in there." And I opened it up, and I was like, "Don't make me look at it! I'm scared of aliens!" Oh god, it was awesome.
Worst thing about Gorilla Alien, it was on the back of all the boxes, and in text underneath, in little writing, it said "not available in Europe." And I'm like, "Fucker, that's the coolest looking one."
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
I know. But I tell you, my favourite one, I've actually got it. It's on my shelf. I'm looking at it right now because I repurchased it. Killer Crab Alien, which is that was one of their deluxe ones. It's like big and pink and black, and it just looks fucking awesome. It's got normal arms, then big claws underneath, 4 legs, a giant tail arcing over it, and it shoots little parasites from its chest.
That's cool.
What I love about it is the idea of a facehugger on a crab is brilliant, and B, they knew the word crab alien sounded fucking stupid, so they had to say killer crab, even though there's no such thing. So that's awesome. I've got Scorpion Alien as well.
The Scorpion Alien is so fucking awesome. I love any toy that blows up for you.
Oh yeah, that's the one everyone really wanted to get first because it looks the most like a normal warrior.
Right.
In fact, Killer Crab Alien looks more like it should be called Scorpion Alien than Scorpion Alien. I ordered Bull Alien from Amazon, and the fucker sent me another Scorpion Alien, and I had to resend it. I can't even remember if I got refunded or not, but I've been put off buying any more ones. I want Bull Alien because that's the first alien I ever got. The best thing about Bull Alien is you press a button and its head juts out on a big sort of pneumatic neck. Then you pull the trigger up and down, its head nods up and down. So as a kid, you could look at it and go, "Bull Alien, are you gay or not?" And then press it up and down. And obviously, I wasn't as socially progressive as an 8-year-old that I am now. But back then, are you gay? Yes, yes, yes.
Who's the lizard man, the alligator guy from He-Man?
Lord Hiss.
Is it Lord Hiss?
Oh no, that was a snake.
I don't know. It's one of the. Oh god, I'm like Leatherback or some shit. Just call him Grimlock for the time being. I remember I got like a hand-me-down toy of him, and all the He-Man toys had those like weird squishy rotocast heads.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember I was coming home from like a dinner party, and I must have been 4 years old or something. And I took the toy and I sort of put his hands up to his head and then squeezed his head so it looked like he was like squeezing his head. And I just go, "Oh no, I forgot something!" And my mom's like, "What'd you forget?" And I was like, "No, I was talking to my toys."
Weren't old toys great?
God, toys are awesome.
Monster in my pocket, Boglies. Oh. Dear. I had the King Alien as well.
Oh, what the fuck was
my
the King Alien?
Favourite thing ever. Because I got it, I still remember seeing it advertised on TV. I saw a commercial, I was like, I'm fucking getting that. It was a big green bastard, like the biggest one they ever did, and it had multiple actions, so you knew it was good. Like, it had a big, almost like a queen-like head, but the head's separated out into two giant mandibles. And you pressed a button and those mandibles snapped shut really quickly. And then you would fill its tail, like it had like a big
I'm looking at
bulbous...
it. Oh, that thing's incredible.
I know, it's fucking badass. You'd fill its bulbous tail, like it had a rubber tail full of water, and then it would grab people with its big head mandibles, and then you could squeeze its tail, and it would just spray water, i.e. acid, in the face of whatever it had caught. And it was such a badass toy.
I think I might get a Kenner logo tattooed on me somewhere, because I would be absolutely okay with that. Do you remember the one that was, I think it was a deluxe action figure, it was the guy who dressed up like an alien.
Yeah, I remember that one, yes. The alien power armor.
It came with he was like a cross-dressing xenomorph, and he came with a little comic book, like a really tiny one. And I just remember reading it and being like, what a fucking idiot! Why would he dress up like aliens? They're gonna kill him! But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the aliens don't have eyes. That's the thing. Aliens don't have eyes. Why would he be dressed like an alien? What are they gonna do? Are they going to be feeling around like fucking Ralph Fiennes' girlfriend in Hannibal?
They do have eyes, though. They're underneath the dome. If you look at their skulls.
No, that's empty eye sockets under there.
Is it?
It's like vestigial, like a human's vestigial tail. It takes the trait, so it's got like a
I have this theory. I did some thinking about the kind of duality of aliens and predators. Aliens, for instance, they have no eyes, and eyes are like... They're the kind of, this isn't really the duality, this is just kind of the brilliance of their design. If you think about it, like, eyes are the windows to the soul, like you sense emotion through eyes. And that's like a primal thing, really. I mean, animals do that, they squint their eyes and, hiss their teeth and things. Aliens have no eyes and two sets of teeth. That's like just terrifying on a primal level. That's scary. And then on top of that, they've got the whole, not on top of that. I just sit there and I think about aliens. The Predators are like bros. They are doing the rite of passage. They're a bunch of dudes on a hunting trip. They're like, oh yeah, let's fucking go and let's hunt Schwarzenegger. Let's go kill Jesse Ventura, because that's like what bros do. We're some men, and they're all about like posturing and they're cheap too. They have all these fucking gizmos and gadgets. Meanwhile, the aliens are the whole kind of theme there is like matriarchy. You've got the queen alien and the kind of birth, the chest burster and everything, and then there's the whole thing with Ripley and the sense of female empowerment or whatever. So it's sort of like boys and girls, aliens and predators, if you think about it.
That is true. Except the girls in this situation can rape anything.
Right. And also the predator's mouth looks like a vagina.
Like a big... Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the xenomorphs are very feminine and the predators are very masculine, but one looks like a vagina and one looks like a giant penis.
Yeah, one has a vagina mouth, the other has, and he's covered in fishnets, and the other one, does look like a big wiener. So it's very, very strange. I read a story somewhere. Apparently, James Cameron was on a plane with somebody, with the designer of the Predator, and he looked up and he goes, "Hey, you know what you never see? Mandibles." And then they made Predator.
Oh yeah. That was I remember that story.
We've seriously been talking about aliens and predators for how long?
This is what happens when you don't have like Jonathon Holmes' power. We will just talk about aliens and predators. Fun though for us. I don't really give a fuck about the listener at this point. They're lucky to get anything this week. Thanks for listening, by the way, folks. I guess we should answer another question.
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about aliens now. That's the problem. They want to hurry up and get me my review copy of fucking thing. Actually, I think... Oh, Jonathon Holmes is here! Let's bring that son of a bitch in. Oh, he's not on Skype yet.
Okay, that's weird. Here's a good one. John Apocalypse asks, which video game would you like to see get its own porno spoof? Mass Effect, obviously.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we want real pornography, then yeah.
Final Fantasy X-2 or Mass Effect. It's that fucking simple. Jesus, fucking retarded question.
I mean, was he expecting us to be funny and say Contra or something? No, I don't want to see a Contra porn.
It could be Contra.
Contra, that is true. Yeah. Meat of rage. Jeez.
Teats of rage.
See? Always one step ahead. That's the problem. He's not on. What the hell's wrong with him?
Fucking idiot.
Alright, I'm going to send him an email now.
Oh, this is a really good one. Jamie Hawkins asks, what one game franchise would you like to write, develop, or decide on the art direction for?
Oh. The egotist in me would say Portal, but I don't think I'm good enough for Portal. I would say Killzone. I want to write for Killzone because it's got such a good backstory that you never see in the game. And I've got ideas. I'd never voice them because I'd hate to be one of those people, but I've actually got ideas for Killzone that maybe one day, whenever I get off my ass and write a novel, I'll be legitimate enough to start actually writing for video games. And then I will do Killzone, and that's all I'll do, and then I will retire from life and live in a shanty in the woods. That's my entire life. Write novel, write Killzone 4, shanty.
I could see that. I would love to do. I would love to do a game that is a 2D point-and-click adventure, a la, Monkey Island, old LucasArts stuff, but is about the Goonies. And I think that would be pretty cool. I'd also like to see I don't know if that's I'm going off on tangents about my crazy ideas, which will stay in my head so no one steals them from me. I'd love to do Fallout. Honestly, I talked about doing Fallout New England. Doing Fallout in the country where I grew up, and have you'd have much different look from New Vegas or Washington. Mm-hmm. Have lots of funny animals.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Fucking A.
Fucking right. Fucking shit. Fucking balls.
Fuck yeah. Phlebas D says, okay, I'm seriously considering making a crappy Flash game based on your Hollow Man 3 idea for Willem Dafoe. Are you guys okay with eye lasers or not? There could also be a Danny DeVito cameo or perhaps Bob Hoskins. Also, what would be some good quotes of theirs to use as sound effects? Feed me your ideas, please. No eye lasers. Yes to everything else.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Jonathan Holmes. Jonathan Holmes.
Hi, Mac. Yes, Mac.
Hang on 1 second. I need to stop this recording because I think bringing people in while it's recording might be what fucks things up. 1 second.
Oh.
1 second. Okay. Welcome back from that little break, even though I should have just stuck them together without there being a break. So you went nowhere. Hello.
Jonathan Holmes.
Hi, Max.
Me, Holmes.
Yes, Max?
I was going to say about a movie idea I had for you.
Whoa.
Anna Paquin and a whole shitload of Canadian geese, and it's called Fly Away Holmes.
Is Anna Paquin the one with the nose there?
She's the one who takes off her shirt every week in the HBO original series True Blood.
Oh, yeah. She's got the little keyboard.
Jonathan Holmes. I would like... Jonathan Holmes. I would like you to star in a film I am doing in which Axel Foley from Beverly Hills Cop goes inside Jim Henson's labyrinth to get his white partner back. Will you play Axel Foley in my quasi-remake stroke crossover? I will be David Bowie, thanks.
Yeah, what will that movie be called?
It'd be called Jonathan Holmes.
That's it?
It'd be called Beverly Hills Cop versus Labyrinth.
Jonathan Holmes. Jonathan Holmes.
Oh, God.
Jonathan Holmes.
Yes,
if
Matt,
you had
Max?
two fucking endangered species to death, which one would you fuck to death?
I don't know. I'm not up on what's endangered and what's not.
I'll accept protected as long as the sex is not protected.
Are whales in trouble? I guess whales. Just all the whales.
Whale?
Well, I don't.
Breaking. Jonathan Holmes wants to fuck a whale to
you
death.
Fucking whale rapist. It's disgusting what you get up to. You scumbag. God, see, Jonathan Holmes brings the energy. Because
God
before
damn,
now,
this
we
second
were
you
so
come in here,
quiet.
we were having a really, really nice discussion.
Yeah. You're a bad influence, Jonathan Holmes.
Shit.
You should be ashamed of yourself for ruining another Podtoid. Unfucking-leavable. All the best podcasts like that have 3 men in it, one of them's invariably bullied. You got Ray Peacock and Ed Gamble, Havaraj James, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant famously had Carl Pilkington. So Jonathan Holmes, you utter dreg. You fastidious little worm. You Kurgan from Highlander bastard.
So you're bullying me right now? Is that
We
what
are
that
bullying.
was?
You're getting. You see, what did I tell you, Max? That right there.
Jonathan, what
That
are you
right there.
sitting
The
on?
withering
Jonathan,
insult.
are you sitting on something
What?
right now?
I'm sitting
sitting-
on a couch bed thing.
Sit on the floor.
Whoa.
Hey, Jonathan
Why?
Holmes. Jonathan Holmes.
Why?
Is your refrigerator running? Well, get it some running shoes because it's running. You running idiot.
Jonathan Holmes, is your nose running? Let's
No.
get a tissue. Gross.
Jonathan. Jonathan Holmes. Prince Albert can. Jonathan.
Prince Albert can, Jonathan?
Prince Albert can. You can't. You idiot.
Jonathan
Oh,
Holmes.
yes.
Dick Pierce. Prince Albert. It can.
Who's Prince Albert? Is he's royalty?
Dick piercing.
Oh, he's a dick piercing. Yeah, that's right.
Jonathan Holmes. Yeah. Jonathan Holmes. You wrote Mr. Nanny.
Starring Terry Hulk Hogan?
Starring Terry Bollea as Hulk Hogan.
I didn't write that, no.
Jonathan Holmes, if you went into a future where people were scared of germs, you wouldn't be called the Demolition Man, you'd be the Demolition Flan, and you wouldn't even taste good.
Yeah, Jonathan Holmes, if you were in Demolition Man and you got in that part in the car accident, the car filled with that safety foam, and Sandra Bullock tried to get you out, you would have already suffocated.
Because I just suck at breathing? Or...
Jonathan Holmes, if you wrote Total Recall, it would be called Total Hairy Balls.
Total hairy, yes.
Totally hairy balls, Jonathan Holmes. God, you suck at writing sci-fi.
I don't feel bullied at all. I feel like I am a little bit. I do tend to take the back seat and just laugh at you guys.
Yeah, you take the back seat gay sex.
Well, it's easier that way. You just sit back and enjoy yourself. It's fun.
Oh,
guys, I have
Jonathan Holmes.
Yeah. What?
I have a question. Dang7 asks the question, what is the song by Hathaway, What Is Love Really About?
Funny you should mention that. A friend of mine did the production. His dad did the production and guitar work on that song.
It's about sociopaths.
What Is Love is?
Yes.
It is?
Baby, don't hurt me no more. What is love? They don't know what love is because they're fucking murderers.
Oh,
Hathaway,
okay.
killing people again.
I always just thought it was a guy who was disillusioned due to a lot of romantic problems. And
No.
no.
Jonathan Holmes, what was it like being producer on the hit single "Don't Steal My Sunshine"?
Oh, I wish by Len. I wish I had produced that.
Okay.
Everyone knows you're Len's producer.
Jonathan Holmes. No. The two members of Len, the brother and sister duo, are they fucking? Or just Canadian?
They are just Canadian, yeah.
Well, because they ride that scooter together and it just looks kind of weird, I'm just saying.
Well, Steven Tyler said that he believes that incestual thoughts are natural and just get used to it. Just don't act on them, he said. Sure.
So I should have stopped before I fingered my sister.
Yes, Jim. You're probably.
Does it count if it's up the arse though, or not?
She can't get pregnant that way. That's true.
It's true. If you finger your sister, so long as you don't finger her in her snatch, she won't get pregnant. Because I'm known to come from the tips of my fingers. That's what they call me. They call me down the local bar Cummy Hands. Captain Cum Hands, they call me.
Wow, what a peculiar... That would make, life difficult.
It gives a whole new meaning to the phrase, pull my finger.
Well, it reminds me of a guy I knew who once used a rubber glove as a condom.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
He was a... Yeah?
Is one of the people you work with?
Yeah, he was in the psychiatric hospital at the time.
Of Oh,
Yeah.
is that what he was in there for? Did he have 5 dicks? Because then it wouldn't be so bad.
You know what I was thinking about? If you had 5 dicks, you couldn't say I've got to go rub one out. You'd be like, I gotta go give myself a high five.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, Jim said he felt like he just had an orgasm from 5 dicks
Well, I said
in the
that
pod
on the dead
on,
Podtoid. Yeah.
on the dead Podtoid when I did something funny. When I was not being bullied or shamed by either of you. It was my
We
time
will
to
talk
shine.
about that. We'll
Jonathan,
talk
are you
about that
sitting on the
next
floor
week.
yet or not?
How about now?
You're sitting on the
What'd you
floor. Told you to sit on
No,
the floor.
no. I won't. I'm not
You're in
intimidated.
fucking Boston. I can't bully you from all the way over here.
And my floor is
Please sit
actually
on the
really
floor,
comfortable.
you coward.
Jonathan Holmes, have you ever gotten a big beanbag, put it on your head, and said, "Oh, I am Toad from Mario"?
No, I don't expect I would feel that good about it. if I
I've done
were
that
to.
before.
Jonathan, I have a question. Full
Yes.
Metal Fox asks, which video game classic would you like to see remade?
Full Metal Fox asks, "What video game classic would I like to see remade?"
Please answer it.
That's tough. I was hoping that River
Not
City
the question.
Ransom
The
sequel would
correct
come
answer
out.
to that question is Eternal Champions for the Sega Genesis.
That's a very
What?
good choice. That is a very
How-
good choice.
How would that even? How could you improve on that by remaking it? Polygon-based graphics.
Just make them new Mortal Kombat, but make it with Eternal Champions. Because I want to play as Larson, because he's a cat burglar, and his name sounds like larceny.
That's true. I forgot about him.
True.
Person who
Yeah.
remembers.
Oh, so we're doing all questions episode then? Is that what's going on?
Well, we couldn't. It was just me and Max for most of it, so we just thought answer some questions.
Oh, okay, that's good too. Yeah.
I know you wanted to talk about that line of code you put in Dead Island where it said feminist whore, and I thought
Well,
I think you crossed a line when you did that, Holmes. Put it back.
Yeah. You feminist whore.
It is. There has been a lot of hot
You
news.
woman slut. That's what you are.
Here's a
What
funny
does that
here's a
even
question. Anton Beverovich asks, would you suck a meaty Bethesda cock for a Skyrim disc a week before its release? No. We work in the gaming press. We don't have to suck any dicks. They send us the discs early anyway.
That's true. They're working hard to get our dicks feeling
To be
fine.
fair, though, I do still suck the dicks anyway, just for a hobby.
I literally, after I finished my interview with the art director for Skyrim, I like turned off the mic and I was like, seriously though, this game is beautiful. And he was like looking at me like, and I'm like, no, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. You're making a really fucking awesome game. And he's like, oh, okay. I was like, fuck you, get out of here.
Arsehole. That
Give me a
guy's...
helmet.
Who was that? Was that Todd Howard?
No, I thought it. See, that's a funny thing. People are like, wow, way to give a really awkward interview. Here's a funny story. When we were previewing the game, it was Matt Carafano, who's the art director.
Okay.
And he's like a little guy. Like, I don't know. He's got like dark hair and he's like looks at things. He came up when it was sort of when it was like it didn't crash. It sort of like lagged for a second or something. But he came over and was like, oh, or he told us about like the dual wield meat grinder attack that you can do. Anyway, he was there, and then immediately afterwards, I left and I think I was talking about Todd Howard, and Zach was like, oh, he was there. Did you know he was there? And I was like, are you serious? He was like, yeah, he was that guy. And I was like, what the fuck? Todd Howard? He has so many opinions on things. And so then the next day I went to meet up at the Bethesda booth for my interview. And I had been told you're going to be interviewing Todd Howard. And this always fucking happens. I like prepare questions for someone, and then they have me interview somebody else, and it's not the same. But anyway, they bring this guy out, and I assume that he's Todd Howard because I was told I was going to be interviewing Todd Howard, and I was told the day before that Todd Howard was there. So he comes up, and I go, "Oh, holy shit! I saw you yesterday. I didn't know it was you. It's honor to meet you." And he sort of gives me this look like, "Okay."
Was it really Todd Howard?
No, it's Matt Carafano, the art director. And then they go, could you spell your name so we can get it right on the title card? And we're like, he's like M-A-T-T. And I'm like, that's not how you spell Todd, you idiot. So the entire interview is a little bit awkward because I'm like, fuck.
You wanted Todd Howard.
Yeah, I wanted Todd Howard. I had
Sure you did.
I make fun of fucking Todd Howard like every week on the fucking show, and then they give me Matt Carafano, who seems very nice, and he seems very unopinionated, and wouldn't tell me if there are werewolves in the game or not. Fucking Skyrim.
There's probably
Anyway.
werewolves in there, though, right?
Probably
Probably is.
Oh,
People
well.
really want to be a werewolf in that game, I guess. They're excited about it.
It'd be cool. Ultra Oscaria has a question.
Oh, yeah?
Again, this is another one we answered on the Lost Podtoid, but he says PC gaming, dead on arrival, alive and kicking, or in a renaissance. And I will answer what I did before, because my opinion hasn't changed in 3 days. Renaissance. I believe it is in a renaissance. It's like it never died, but it did kind of slip into obscurity for a while. But recently, as recent as a few months ago, at least speaking as a games reviewer, I have been put under so much more pressure to start reviewing the PC versions as well as console versions, and I'm now in this interesting dilemma where it's like, PC versions are the optimum versions of a lot of games, but then the 360 PS3 version is probably the most popular. So do I pick the best version of the game or the one that most people are going to buy? And so I'm trying to do both to keep everyone happy, and people have responded really positively to the fact that we're covering more PC stuff. We've got a whole PC team on Destructoid now, headed up by Jordan. A lot of exciting stuff happening with PC gaming. People are really focusing on it a lot more, and we've had things like Deus Ex and Witcher 2, and obviously Battlefield 3 is coming out soon, which are designed with the PC in mind. So, yeah, Renaissance. I think it's made... It's not like it ever went away, but it's made something of a comeback in as far as, you know, it's jumped back into center stage and is kind of muscling the others out of the way.
I think a lot of it has to do with the kind of... the growth of, or the sort of improvement of graphics and technology. We're towards the end of the lifespan of the main consoles right now. I mean, they're still obviously producing great stuff on them, but developers are making stuff with graphics that can only be handled by PC to their full extent. Once the next generation comes out, I feel like PC gaming will kind of wane a little bit again. I don't know. I made the comparison before that PC gaming is like, it's like having an standard transmission, and console gaming is like, automatic. Versus it's like fixing your car yourself versus going to a mechanic. I mean, not a whole lot of people, compared to people who repair their own PC, not a whole lot of people repair their own Xbox or know about the components in it. It's kind of a thing you get, and then you do stuff with it, and then. In a sense, it's much more the true enthusiast way of experiencing things.
Yeah. I think I said last week that, to me, it's all about if consumers feel loyal to the people who are creating the games. And I think PC gaming lagged for a while because people were still playing games on their PCs. They were just stealing them, and there was no profit to be made. But companies like Valve and Notch, the creator of Minecraft, and they're all finding ways to endear themselves to gamers, so gamers want to pay for their games. Like the Humble Indie Bundle makes so much money every time they put one out, and those games, you could just pay a penny for them, but people actually want to buy them because they care about the developers, they feel connected to them, and they want to support them, and they want to support the cause in that case. And same with Minecraft, you can pirate that easily, but people buy it because they want to be a part of the development of the game and to support the people making it because they feel connected to them. And I see definitely a lot more of that on PC at this point than on consoles. Exceptions being like Atlas. People love Atlas as a developer and will buy anything they do just out of this kind of crazed love. But they're one of the exceptions. I mean, I don't think does anyone love Activision? Like really care about them? Want to cuddle them and stuff?
I don't think so. I think I
don't think so either.
They've got supporters and devil's advocates, but I don't think they've got lovers.
Right. It's not the kind of affection.
They love their games. You get diehard Call of Duty fans, obviously, and Guitar Hero lovers, but I
think they'd be quick to drop them as soon as something better came along. I mean, people were quick to drop Guitar Hero when Rock Band came out, and I think if something...
I don't think so. Guitar Hero consistently whooped Rock Band's ass throughout its entire tenure.
But it did wane quite a bit after a while, Guitar Hero.
No,
No, it didn't?
That series... It wasn't until, they really went off the rails and did stuff like fucking DJ Hero and Band Hero, and they just really started killing it with these... I believe 1 year, 2010 or 2009, they released 10 Guitar Hero games in 1 year, And that's ultimately what killed it off. And then,
Yeah.
like, by that point, people were so burned out, the next main iteration of Guitar Hero didn't sell all that well. The Warriors of Rock didn't sell as well as they wanted to, so they kind of put it on the back burner. It wasn't Rock Band that did it, though. It was Activision's own sort of just
Murdering of
destroying
it.
people, yeah.
They strip mine.
Well, I know there's a
just
lot
kind
of people. Yeah.
They just like to, they get a franchise that's successful, and they're like, oh yeah, fuck sustainability.
They're the fucking tyrannids of the fucking game industry. Just ripping it to shreds, sucking out all the nutrients, and then just leaving the husk behind.
But people did like Beatles Rock Band and Rock Band 2 a lot, right?
I mean, yeah, they were good, and people... It found a hardcore following, and there were obviously people that wanted to champion it over anything Activision did, but... there were still people that just loved Guitar Hero and bought stuff just because it said Guitar Hero on it, which Activision made the mistake of thinking that would keep happening.
Yeah.
But nothing ever does. Like, nothing ever lasts forever.
Except Mario.
Except Mario, yeah.
We'll see about that.
I'm the singer in Symphony X asked if I'm Jimmy X, who is a regular poster on Destructoid. Lovely chap. Complete fucking tool. No, I am not Jimmy X. I'm almost insulted that I would be asked that as if that's my idea of comedy. No, I'm not Jimmy X.
He's not so bad, Jimmy X.
He's got a certain charm to him.
Yeah.
But he is a fucking idiot and he derails every thread he posts in.
But I love about him when people get angry at him and call him a 12-year-old. He's like, I'm not 12 anymore. Because he's been 13 for like a week, It's great. He's just a kid. I love him.
He's a big boy. He's put on his big boy pants.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. I'm into it.
Oh, wow, this is a great question. Onyx Leo, is there any chance that Jim, Max, and Tara, we all know you're packing, can send me samples of their semen? I require them for educational purposes. I like how they didn't ask for your semen, Holmes.
Well, it's old. My semen isn't as young as you guys.
It's
Who
just
needs
grey dust.
Yeah, I've got 34-year-old semen. It's probably not even any good anymore. I'm probably out.
You have 34-year-old semen?
Well, I have a 34-year-old.
How in God's name did these 4-year-olds make semen? That's just disgusting.
Oh, Max,
Jonathan Holmes with
You did that.
his toddler sperm farm.
Toddler sperm farm. I'll see you later tonight. I'm just off to milk the kids.
That's the grossest. That's gross.
There's actually a good question here that I really liked. Where is it?
You realise this episode is going to be called Toddler Sperm Farm now?
Yeah, I do.
And people are going to think it's a really good episode as well. They're going to be so disappointed.
It's picked up since Holmes showed up.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, Bullet Curtain asked, what are your favorite fictional video game weapons? Personally, I always thought that the Cerebral Bore from Turok series is pretty awesome. If you had a chance to design a weapon for a video game, what would it look like? Oh God, this is a good chance for me to say. Everyone thinks I hate Cliffy B. I think the dude is fucking awesome at making up guns.
Does he make up those guns himself?
I think there's some of his ideas. I just imagine him sitting there with his Trapper Keeper out, and he's just like, which is what I did when I was in 5th grade too. So, but I mean, like seriously, I remember like I love the guns in Unreal Tournament. I think they're fucking awesome. The Flat Cannon, for instance, is one of my favorites because it just kind of looks like it launches an exploding can of something that turns into gold and then kills people. So that's fun. God, that's not a fictional weapon. I like the microwave gun from Soldier of Fortune that you can use to make dogs blow up.
Whoa, I don't even know about that.
Yeah, it's just a microwave that you shoot people with and they get fat and then they blow up.
That sounds
I think that's pretty
funny.
cool. It's just silly. I like really obscene weapons, like pretty much anything, like from Shadow Warrior and Blood. They had a voodoo doll. They had like a I think they had a aerosol can and a lighter, which was kind of cool back then. If I had to design a gun, this is an idea I had a really long time ago. If anyone steals it, I will fucking kill them. It's a deep fry cannon, and you shoot somebody with it, and they turn crispy golden brown, and you can eat them for health.
Oh,
Yeah. It was inspired by the episode of The Simpsons with Moe's Family Feed Bag, when they get like the military grade deep fryer and they just dip in like a whole like lovely dinner tray and then pull it back out, and then like the lady breaks off part of the wine glass and eats it. When I first saw that, I thought that's how deep frying things worked, and you could literally eat anything. So I invented the deep fry cannon.
that's a great idea. It's creepy. I think people would love it. Have you talked to the Saints Row people about that yet?
No, I actually pitched. I pitched to Drew Holmes. I pretty much in like Harry Carey style, like in the middle of like us sort of like standing around chatting about like grown up stuff. I just kind of blurted out like, "Hey, what if you had a condom full of spiders? That could be a weapon."
Oh, yeah, I remember this idea. Are they going to do that yet? Do you know?
I don't know. I really hope so. I'm actually probably I'm like buddies with the Volition guys. They're really cool. Like Jeff Hanna, who's like their senior technical artist, he just like messaged me and was like, "Hey, do you want to go out to a fish restaurant when I'm in San Francisco?" And I said yes. So we're gonna go to a fish restaurant,
Oh,
possibly to test the deep fry cannon.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The octopus gun in Saints Row the Third. I haven't had enough time with it to decide, but that's a fun gun.
Yeah.
What does that do?
I think anything involving octopi is generally awesome anyway, so to have them in a gun form is amazing. Aren't they like different colours as well? Like different coloured octopuses come out?
Yeah.
That's just fucking great.
They go like, "Mami Shiba, what does she want not do?" And then they blow up, and
God, that game's gonna be so good!
That's fun.
I love Volition as well, actually. Who's it? Jeff Hanna, I think, he's passed on a message to let the guy he works with know that Fire Warrior, which is an old Warhammer first-person shooter, was actually good, contrary to what everybody else says. Because I loved Fire Warrior, but no one else did. And this guy's...
I didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
Was it PC or something?
It was it was on PS3 and PS2, sorry.
Okay.
PS2 and Xbox, I think, and apparently one of the guys who worked on it's at Volition now, and he gets shit for it. And I wanted to pass along the note that I thought Fire Warrior was really cool. So,
that's nice of you. What weapons do you like there, Jim?
what weapons do I like?
Yeah.
I know. I like the hand cannon from Serious Sam, which is a handheld cannon, basically, that fires giant cannonballs that rolls over everything. That's an awesome gun. The trouble is, a lot of the guns I like in video games aren't fictional. That's the caveat. It's like, I've always been an LMG guy. Like, give me a light machine gun, the ones with the ammo rounds that you open up the top of the gun and change a drum and everything. It's like, takes forever to reload, but you get so many bullets and they chew stuff up.
Right.
Space Marine has some obviously fictional ones. I love the Heavy Bolter, which I've been using the Devastator Havoc class in the multiplayer, and it's basically just a giant machine gun that's the size of a motorcycle, and you can just stand there going... So, I like that one.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the spread shot from Contra. You remember
God,
that?
you're old. You're so old.
God, you and your old dusty spunk and your toddler farm.
Yeah. I like the one, what is it? It's a small flower you pick up and you shoot those bouncing fireballs. Oh, graphics on that. Crazy. Ricochet physics off those turtles. Oh.
I do like the physics of the fire flower. Yeah,
Fucking hate it.
yeah,
Annoying.
it bounces nice. It's real
I
nice.
just discovered this really racy game called Custer's Revenge. You wouldn't believe the tits in that. Oh, I don't want to show it to me grandkids.
This is fun because in the dead Podtoid, I pretended to be an old man, and now you guys.
You did, but I don't want you to talk about that.
Someone
Why not?
asked.
I want you
it
to,
was
because
funny.
next week's episode's going to be good. So I want you to talk about it next week.
You want me to? Because I was afraid to even try to do it again.
Well, that's it. Like, I want a week to forget about it, and next
Right.
week you're going to surprise me with it. So
Okay.
don't
Okay.
forget, or I'll fucking cut you.
Okay, I won't forget.
Yeah.
Other weapons I like it in Metal Slug when you get fat because your
damn it.
guns get fat. You know about that? You get fat in Metal Slug if you eat enough fruit.
Yeah, I know about Metal Slug.
It's pretty
Talk
fun.
about gun games, dude.
Yeah, Metal Slug is a gun game, sir. In
Sort
fact,
of.
all you do is shoot or stab.
Game.
It's a what now? Jumping? Well, a
The
little
way,
bit.
the way you figure out whether a game is a gun game or not.
Uh-huh.
You basically, if they were to merchandise it, which would be more successful, action figures or role play Nerf guns? And the answer for Metal Slug is role play Nerf guns because the guns all pretty much look the same.
Oh no, they look pretty different.
They're very small though, and the guys look cool. I want Metal Slug action figures, motherfucker. I want them to be like
Me
mass
too.
playsets.
God,
Little
I
tiny-
would love an action figure of the zombies with just the huge spray of bath.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're the best. Yeah, and they
They would-
squeeze
they
their
would-
heads.
come with goo, and they'd have like squeezy heads, and you could like like spray it everywhere. I'm just mad that action figure like, dear gamers, buy more action figures, you motherfuckers. Like, we've got
Well, they
so
buy
many
'em.
cool games now, and then like the action figure market like 10 years ago was so fucking it was bumping. I mean, like I read all issues of Toy Fair and get all misty eyed. But it's like there was that point where like action figure collecting was really big, and it's like I feel like now that's just kind of been washed over by gaming and meh.
I feel like it's still going, but it's very serious action figures, like the
Oh, shut
The
stuff that's like 800 fucking bucks. That's
exactly,
Yeah.
or just of like a really realistic guy frowning with like a hood on. You know,
Yeah.
like the Assassin's Creed action figures.
Give
People
me
love
toys
them.
I can play with. I don't
No
want to
fun
put them on
there.
my desk. I want to play with them.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
like
Metal Slug action
Metal
figures.
Slug action figures, maybe about like like 2 or 3 inches tall, with like little joints so they could run and jump and stuff, and they can hold their different guns. And then they could actually go in the Metal Slugs, which would have launching missiles on them. And
That would be
then
great.
some of the bosses, like that motherfucking battleship lobster crab.
Oh, Metal Slug 3? Yeah, that's great.
yeah, love Metal Slug. on
And
the flip side, why is Cliffy B not talking to Nerf about making like licensed? I mean, he's making those like licensed prop lancers, but like, what if you started making Unreal Tournament Nerf guns?
yeah.
just-
Be pretty badass.
Yeah,
I
would
guess
buy.
he's wondering if the Nerf audience is over 18, which is supposedly what the Gears audience is. Supposedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
A lot
final
of adults
weapon.
buy Nerf guns. There's Nerf guns fucking
Right.
all over the Division 3 office.
And a lot of kids buy Gears of War. The whole idea of there being stuff for kids and stuff for adults, I feel like that's a issue I wanted to tackle for a while. That taboo does not equal mature, and mature does not equal for people over 18. You know, it's just because something's a taboo doesn't mean it's for grown-ups. I know tons of kids that love Gears of War and sawing people in half and whatnot.
Are they the ones on your semen farm?
I know tons of kids. No one should say
you just
that.
go in.
Very-
You just
yeah.
like, come on, children. Come on out of your stalls. I have Gears of War for you. And they're just actual gears, like small gears. And you're like, here you go, play with your Gears of War. Very violent gears.
That'd be really mean. And
Sorry.
that's okay. And the last weapon I like, you know that weapon in No More Heroes 2 that gets really long?
Oh,
It's like-
No.
the famous long weapon.
Yeah, the peony. It's almost like penis.
Oh, God.
It gets really long. Yeah, it's red.
Oh,
and that's
for
it.
God's sake.
Yeah, that's all. I like
Oh, gold.
it. Yeah.
Oh, Jonathon Holmes.
Yeah.
Flintski says, Jim Sterling, Twilight is my favourite ELO song. How would you rank it amongst the rest of their songs? And for that matter, how would you rank the entire Time album? Twilight is a good song. It is in my top 20 songs. It is not as good as yours truly, 2095. But I would put Time in my second best one after New World Record. So, there.
Jim, I've been meaning to
Yeah,
ask you, are you familiar with the Xanadu soundtrack?
Yes.
Partially by ELO. What do you think of Xanadu soundtrack?
I've never bothered listening to the non-ELO songs on the Xanadu soundtrack.
Have you seen
What do you
Xanadu?
think?
I've not gotten around to seeing Xanadu.
Oh my God,
I
it's
just
got
know
the guy from-
ELO
it's got-
songs.
It's got the guy from
Yeah.
the Warriors, and then all these chicks start turning into lasers.
And Grace
And
Kelly.
Olivia Newton-John or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's amazing. It's the worst
Crazy.
movie I've ever seen. I love it. So bad. Wow, it hurts bad, but you got to watch it. They go to heaven, and yeah, there's some throbbing and some grabbing too. Just check it out. That's my review. And the ELO songs are, of course, pretty good. Yeah.
Can I just publicly address something?
Yes.
I don't think gamers have any fucking idea what a hipster is. Like, I think it's sort of like when, like, angry Korean War veteran communist, like, hating dads in the, in the 70s would be like, "Oh, you damn hippies, get off my lawn. I can't stand the hippies, the long hairs." And it's like, it's like a guy with a mustache. It's not like a hippie. That's what
Yeah.
gamers sound like whenever... See, Crackety Jones... sorry, wrong one. CG Walcat said, "Props to you, Mr. Sterling. It's good to know someone out there also likes electric light orchestra. A lot of my friends are hipsters, and with that, our music tastes rarely walk hand in hand." Hipsters buy everything on fucking vinyl. Like, hipsters love ELO. They buy old records. They wear old clothes. Like, I don't know what he's imagining. It might be just people who listen to modern music. It might be teenagers. I don't know. But it makes me so mad because people keep complaining about hipsters, and it's like, I have a lot of infuriating hipster friends who are like just filthy little pseudo-bohemian shits.
Wow. Did you just call them your friends first?
Yeah,
and then
no, they're
describe them
dirty
as...
fucking hipsters. I'm just gonna say that, like, I went to art school. I have like my dumb, like, slimy cokehead friends who do nasty, filthy things, and I'm just like, oh, you guys, no, I don't want to go to this electro dance party at this dive bar where they have a photo booth, but it's funny because it's you can also get your nails done there. Like it's sorry.
Okay.
Good question, though.
What happened?
Good question. Good question.
McNayers says, "Would you like to see low poly PS1 style graphics make a comeback as an artistic style in indie gaming, the same way that pixel art has made a return in the last few years?" And
Well, it kind of has.
I've thought about that's a really good question. I've thought about that.
But I'm going to take responsibility for that. That was a Phil Fish quote from PAX East. He said that Phil Fish, the Fez guy, he said that he thought low polygon. I'd be cool with it as long as the textures. It's the textures that really get me on PS1 games.
Even back in the day, I remember as a kid, when the PS1 had first come out, and they were pushing all those 3D graphics, and what was it? What fighting game was it? The guy with the blonde hair that goes up really tall. The guy called Paul.
Tekken.
Tekken. Okay.
Yes.
I know a lot about fighting games. I remember I saw a clip of Tekken, and I was like, even as a child, I knew that looked like shit. That looked awful, and
Yeah.
I wanted to go back to the Genesis and enjoy my beautiful looking sprite games. The reason why sprite games made a comeback in indie gaming is that they are A, cheap, and they look good while being cheap. PS1 style graphics, at their most expensive, didn't look very good. The best looking PS1 games used sprites still. And
It's the difference between the fucking, Bayou Tapestry and a fucking pinata that's sort of supposed to look like SpongeBob SquarePants.
And you get this on the DS. You get this on the DS. Like, you get an RPG where they've tried to use polygons. Looks like fucking arse. Like, I love the Suikoden that was on the DS, but it looks like shit. And you compare that to, like, what's it, that Star fucking Saga game that wasn't all that good gameplay-wise, but it had beautiful fucking sprites. Even
Sigma
today,
Star Shock?
I don't know what it was called, Jonathan Holmes.
Okay,
Played it like 3 years ago.
I think that was a
I
way
can think
forward.
of one exception to the whole not wanting to see ugly giant polygons. I would like to see a game that uses, predominantly modern graphics, but at the same time throws in some like realistic, photorealistic stuff, but then throws in some cell shading and some sprite art, and then you have one character who is just like kind of stuck in the mid 90s and is just a lumpy pile of polygons, but is interacting with people who are like, beautiful LA noir. It would be like Who Framed Roger Rabbit of video games.
Huh,
Just like
that's a neat idea.
world of video games.
I mean, I think it all depends on how well it's done and working within your limitations. The worst looking PS1 games to me were the ones that didn't grasp the fact that they couldn't pull off realism, and they tried for it and they failed, and it looked like garbage. Whereas, Minecraft doesn't go for realism, and that's pleasant enough to look at, I suppose. The Katamari Damacy games, they're technically PS2 games, but the polygon count is really low on those characters, and they just embrace it and go for simplicity, and that works. So as long as they don't try to overstretch what they're capable of, I think it could look good. But that said, the N64 is my least favorite console of all time, mostly because all the games look bad other than Star Fox. Yeah,
that's
Star Fox is
pretty
good.
true.
Yeah, I hate.
I'm with you on that. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
hate
didn't know
the
that at all.
N64.
I absolutely hate it too.
It's the worst. I bought it eventually. Did I tell you the time I bought an N64? A man just was like, step into my house. I'm like, all right. And he's like, here it is. I'm like, all right, fine. I bought it from him. $100. $100.
Was
Did
it
you
hollowed?
fuck him or what?
Was the N64 hollowed out and a bag of Coke inside?
Yeah,
No,
what?
it still works. And I got a bunch
What are
of
you
games
leaving
like
out from that
Castlevania.
story, Holmes? Like,
Well, I did. There was a piece of paper saying like, "Come to my house for an N64," and I was like, "I guess this is how I'm going to buy one." I mean, I knew I had to buy one because there was 5 good games on it. There was Mischief Makers and Star Fox and Majora's Mask. I like, even though it looks kind of bad. And Dr. Mario 64 is still my favorite Dr. Mario, so I had to have one. And then I just went into the man's house and I didn't get raped, and I got an N64 for $100. In about 10 games.
You know it's a good day when you haven't been raped.
he is like the worst pedophile ever. Like,
Who, me? Or the guy who
the
was...
man. He has you over to his house. First of all, you're a grown ass man. Second of all, he doesn't rape you. And then you exchange money, and he gives you the N64. Like, that's just...
Yeah, you get what you agreed upon.
Oh, man.
More like
It all went well.
pedophile.
Yeah, pedophile. Epic pedophile.
And I'll tell you what, as well, Jonathan Holmes, since we're bullying you, what a shit paedophile's victim you turned out to be.
Yeah.
Can't even get raped. Jonathan Holmes.
That sounds like a bad date. That sounds like a terrible date. Like, he's like, I'm sorry, I mean, here, take my Nintendo 64. It has Dr. Mario 64. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah, just get your unrapeable ass out of my house.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun, yeah.
Oh, and then you cried. You played Dr. Mario and you're like, this is pretty fun, but why can I sit down and play this? Daniel Benoit. Daniel Cinemoy said, Cinnamon! Get me a juice box!
I want my juice boxes!
I'm fucking thirsty!
Vera Morrison from Whale Rider!
I'm in a lifeguard tower, but I'm going to pretend there's no water because I want juicy juice.
I played every single one of the stormtroopers in your Star Wars movies.
I've got a fucking tattoo on my face, mate. I'm going to...
Bring me my red juicy juice so I can spill it all over my red clothing. My red shorts and my red shit.
Do I know who we're talking about?
Cinnamon!
Oh, it's Dead Island.
I know the island's crawling with zombies, but I need you to give me my citrus fix.
Okay, I'm sorry, but motherfucking that game is fucking Dad Island. I just got my copy. I popped it back in, start up my save again. Still have to bring Cinnamon his fucking juice, and this other girl's like, I'm thirsty, I want some water. And I'm like, okay, sweetheart, I'll get you some water. And this other girl's like, I want my teddy bear. But she's like 25. So I'm just running around with all these fucking people who are acting like children. I want juice. I want my teddy bear. Welcome to Dad Island.
Does anything else happen in that game?
I literally pulled over my car a number of times just because I'm... Damn it, Cinnamon, I'll get you your fucking juice boxes.
I can't really wrap my head around
You are
the
completely
game.
correct. It's fun, though.
Yeah.
Just so long as you remember that you are basically doing the most inane things in the world while people are trying to eat you.
Do you eventually get off the island or anything?
If you've got the dev build on PC, you can.
Hey, like hold Q or
Just
something.
you press Y and then you just fly away. Oh, the
You guys
PC
wanna talk-
version is fucking fucked.
Huh.
Yeah, like they've had that. They've got all these problems with getting online, and they found we mentioned earlier the line of feminist whore written in the code, which is
It was
fun.
like
You know,
it was an achievement or something, or like a special
It's one of
skill
the-
she could get.
yeah, one of the characters' skill. It's actually called Gender Wars in the game, but the code had it written as feminist whore. She gets like plus 15% damage against male characters. Yeah,
Even calling it gender wars is kind of asking for it, if you ask me.
possibly.
No, it's not. Have you seen the offensive video games like Flower or The Sims that promote a eco-terrorist liberal agenda? Fuck that. Fucking goddamn.
I fucking hate my kid putting things in litter boxes and recycling stuff that can be recycled. I fucking hate it when my kid is socially conscious. I beat the shit out of him whenever I see him like put his trash in the trash can, rather than just kick it into the backyard.
I mean, inevitably, when we have to go to war with France, I'm worried about my kids. They give them a gun, and this fucking kid's like, "Oh, let's go build a wind power plant," instead of shooting the Frenchies in the face.
Oh, yeah.
Because let's be realistic
No,
here.
I mean,
Wait a minute.
Tensions are rising with France.
it's exactly like Fox News said. We need to force our children to watch pornography and play Gears of War. They said that. And make them eat for their dinner hot buttered garbage.
I want to see Fox News make a fucking game, and I want to know what that game would be. I mean, they already made ethnic cleansing, so I don't know what kind of game they would make.
They made ethnic cleansing?
Have you seen that game? Have you seen ethnic cleansing?
No, I guess not.
No, but I
White
completely
supremacist
believe
game?
that Fox made it.
It's actually made by some like white supremacist metal
Yeah.
band label.
I don't know, I'm just saying, it's highly believable that Fox would have done it. Oh, they're such racist Republicans. Right, guys? Hey, guys,
Yeah,
that's
I guess so.
politics.
I haven't watched
It's
Fox
just-
News in a long time.
Here's
I don't
here's
know.
my thoughts on Fox News. Every time they talk about gaming, gamers get mad, and then they repost the fucking video, and Fox News makes some ad revenue from that and gets a spike in their ratings. So
Yeah, it
how
works.
about pay attention? Like this is not just Fox News. This is just people have more fun disagreeing with stuff than they do agreeing with stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How about instead of getting mad at what Bill O'Reilly said, you go and read something written by somebody much smarter who said something more progressive and interesting. Go watch a fucking TED Talk, you goddamn idiot. Like, just stop getting mad at stuff.
There's no capacity to project your anger at your own life onto the politicians and pundits in the world. If you just go about that,
I disagree. I
stuff.
actually disagree. When someone says something stupid, I want to tell them they said something stupid. I know that's probably the wrong attitude to have, but I can't help it.
You get this kind of impotence when someone on TV who is thousands of miles away from you says something you disagree with. What can you possibly do? Oh, I don't know. Post a link to that video on Facebook with a little bit of with a footnote saying this is wrong. I disagree with this, and guess what?
Well,
Made them.
what I do is I post it on Destructoid, and then I get ad revenue off their work. So
Yeah.
Right.
I
See,
think I'm winning.
Funny discussing this with Jim Sterling in the room.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, we all, Jim more so than I, but both of us, we do have a fairly large audience for our ability to get back at the people we think are dumb. So yeah, we don't really count anymore for these kinds of conversations. You too, Max. You've got a show. I heard.
Yeah, I know. We piss people off. I try and piss people off, but I
But
don't.
as far as
I try and entertain people. Like I just.
Of course.
As far as the liberal agenda thing goes, like, I had to post it because I wasn't mad. It was fucking hilarious.
I was really glad you didn't link to it. I really appreciated that.
The liberal agenda thing. Did I miss this? When did this happen?
Jim, did you see that?
No, the video was in the post.
Was it?
Yeah, I've let you down, sir.
You fucker.
It was too. People had to see it. It was so funny. Because at the end of the day, look, this is what I think. Right, at the end of the day, Fox News isn't going to like win or lose based on what I do. You know, it's like I could boycott them, but what's that going to do? better that I post it, let people vent, exercise their frustration, feel better about themselves, than just ignore it and do nothing, and Fox will be fine either way. They're still going to say retarded shit, but, I get to post it, get Destructoid a nice story, and then I get to vent about stuff, people get to vent about stuff. It's very nice overall, and plus, I've got all the time in the world to remind people that Fox News is the worst thing ever, and everybody should get their news from the BBC News app, because the BBC actually understands how to just tell the fucking news without adding an opinion. And before anyone says it, I'm a blogger, not a newsman. I don't claim to be a newsman, ergo I'm not a hypocrite when I accuse Fox News of being cunts. Shut up, you're not clever, you're not original for pointing that out. Shove it up your ass and fuck off while you're doing it.
Yeah. I'm like basically Tom Brokaw, though, so I am a journalist.
I hate the term journalist. I'm so sick of it.
Yeah, video game journalism is just a joke. It's very silly.
Well, it's all about image, isn't it? I mean, professionalism and journalism is all. I'm putting up a front and I'm...
Here's how you be a journalist. Here is how you be a game journalist. You tell people you're a journalist. And I've seen this work with people who, I'm not going to name names, but they'll write the stories about themselves, but they'll make it look like they're not writing about themselves. It'll be like, I was forwarded this email, and then I sent this email to this company, and this company said this to me. And then everyone posts in the comments, oh my god, you're such a great journalist. You did so much good journalism. I wish everyone else was like you. Even though these people, not this one person that I'm talking about that everyone should blatantly be able to guess, these people do basically what everyone else is doing, i.e. sending some emails and getting lucky now and then. But because of the way the story's been written to be about, I did this, the stories are about how much work they did rather than whatever the news is. And that makes, it's all power of suggestion and marketing. I guess I can't fault people for doing that. They played the game very well, and they're doing quite well off it. But
yeah, you don't fault them, but you don't give them kudos either. You don't want to,
The idea of being a games journalist is so fucking stupid, because this is a consumer market where things are being made to be sold, and it's not like politics. There's no big social impact on what we're doing. And it's very controlled by PR, because we're talking to businesses. This isn't like politics. There's no freedom of information. We're not owed any of this info. We have to live off press releases, because the only way we'd get information any other way is A, getting lucky and knowing someone in the company who will give you something anonymously, or B, breaking into an office. Like, without breaking and entering into, like, Activision or EA's offices and stealing from them, there's not a lot you can do as a blogger or whatever. There's none of this, real journalism. And the idea of someone trying to do real journalism about what is a consumer-based industry, an entertainment medium, is laughable. It's just fucking laughable. And I'm not saying you should... I'm not saying you shouldn't put in the effort or the work. I love doing interviews and I love getting like cool little stories and stuff, but just anyone who thinks they're doing real journalism and important work, fucking deluding themselves. Our jobs are retarded.
Jim. The trick is
what?
Act like a child. More. I mean, you said that whole fight in the name of childish thing, which I thought was brilliant. What I do, if I'm in character, I immediately say, I'm an actor, immediately after I do it. And if I find something I was looking for, I go, I'm a detective. And if I pay attention to something that's at a press event, I go, I'm a journalist, I'm a reporter. Like, if you say these things and anyone just looks at you like you're an idiot, you can look right back at them like they're an idiot, because you just made it quite obvious that you're an idiot and they can fuck off.
Well, I mean, this is... you joke, but like there's a running joke among the Destructoid staff of using the word report in all caps, because some other blogs do that. They'll have like, report, Ubisoft does a thing, and it's like so. And we saw one the other day where a guy tweeted, developing, something happens, like this story's going on. We're like, developing? Like,
Was that the nub? Was that
it
the
wasn't the
very,
nub.
very important second nub?
I think it was something about like Ubisoft's like Uplay passport wasn't in Driver or something, and it's like, really, that's a developing story. Hot off the presses, millions dead. Uplay not in Driver. More on this as it breaks. It's like, when I see that kind of stuff, when I see developing and report and people calling themselves journalists, I just get an image of children playing. Like, I think of my stepson who is like, he'll come up to me and say, I got a +1 fire sword. I'm a Templar. I'm like,
Lightning bolt!
Lightning
bolt!
Yeah. Like, I
Lightning
see
bolt!
these kids playing cops and robbers, cowboys and Indians, playing at knights and pirates and stuff. That's what I think of when I see that. It's like, oh, I'm a journalist now. I've got +5 detecting. Wow.
I'm going to try to do something. I have to try to feed my cats while continuing the podcast.
Is that a
Think I can do
euphemism? Are you just fingering your ass?
Feeding your cats is being that's pretty amazing. The other thing about video game trying to be a journalist is, like, I got a scoop. I remember a while ago, I think I sent you an instant message about this. Remember when I heard about Mad World 2 coming out before they announced Anarchy Reigns?
Oh, yeah.
Then it just turned out to be Anarchy Reigns. I knew it. I had a scoop.
I know.
I talked to Sega, and they were like, but don't tell anybody or else we'll never talk to you again.
Yeah, and that's
like,
the kind of stuff you're bound to. And
I guess
some
as
people,
good as journalism can get.
I guess some people would demand that, you have a right and you have the responsibility to tell people that, or you should have called their bluff, you should have done it. It's like, no, because we like working with people and we are trusted, and, it's like, we do this stuff for free. We blog about stuff because we love games, we love talking about them, and we're very lucky to make a bit of money on the side. It's like, we're not beholden. We don't have a social responsibility to do anything.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying that in a, we get to be lazy, we get to not put in any effort. The point is if I want to do a story about, say, like an MS Paint drawing I did of Ganondorf pulling Lickitun's tongue, I can do that because I'm a blogger on a blog that just is about having fun with games. I'm not a journalist. I would never claim. The only people who have a responsibility to do journalism and just post dry, normal news are the people with the arrogance to call themselves journalists and newsmen. Anyone else, just don't come onto Distracted and give us inflict your standards upon us. Don't demand journalism from people who don't claim to be journalists. I don't go to Red Lobster and demand that they cook me a steak pie.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I don't go to Olive Garden and tell them I want a Wendy's Baconator. God, I really want seafood and Italian in a burger now.
That's crazy.
I once got a steak and cheese and chicken sub in order to discuss a date I was on, and it didn't work. She was still totally into me.
What?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Much more interesting than the things about the journalism.
Yeah, why have we wasted this whole Podtoid when you could have told us about this?
It's
usually the sex and dating episode. I want to talk about boys and girls.
Sure.
Just talk about girls. Just talk about girls.
I'll talk about that. Yeah,
recipe
absolutely.
Fucking disaster. Tell us about the date you were trying to discuss with your meat disaster.
That's pretty much it. It's not that. There's not much more to it, unfortunately. It was in the infancy of e-dating. I was on, I think, Matchmaker.com in my mid-20s, having freshly been dumped several times in a row. I was on a... girls would generally date me for 5 or 6 months and then break up with me for some arbitrary reason. That was a pattern I was in for a few years. So I was like, fine, I'll try e-dating. What's that?
God, girls are fucking stupid. You're fucking Jonathon Holmes. You're like the nicest...
Oh, yeah, they always said you're...
I've seen a picture of you when you were in your mid-20s. You're fucking ripped.
I was in pretty good shape for a week, and then I immediately got
Jason Statham and LeVar Burton. Why wouldn't they...
They liked me for a little while.
God, girls are so fucking stupid. I'm so mad at them. Like,
the line I got a lot was, "You make me feel mean because you're so much nicer than me. I want to be with a guy who's mean, so I'm the nice one." Like, okay. I can't argue with that. I mean, I could be meaner. I can try, but I sucked at that. Get me a sandwich. I couldn't do it. Just didn't come out right. They knew I was faking. Anyway, yeah, I went on a date with a girl, and she was just really wanting to have sex, and I was like, I don't even know you. And then I was like, I'm just gonna get a huge greasy sandwich and just have it drip all over me and be disgusting. Oh, it's so good. 2 meats and cheese, fried cheese, fried meat. And she's like, wow. You must need to lie down after a big sandwich like that. I'm like, what?
Oh my
Why
God.
don't you lie down at my house? I'm like, I
Oh my
can't.
God.
I can't. And then she just immediately wanted to have sex with my friend after I turned her down. And he didn't have sex with her either.
Why didn't
Yeah.
you want to have sex with her?
It just felt weird. I'm kind of a weird guy like that. I'm like a feelings guy,
Okay, I'll be fair. I've had a situation that's sort of like that. Sort of. So okay, this is a weird story. I is a girl I known from high school. Like, yeah, she's okay looking, whatever. She had big tits. And we always kind of like were mean to each other, like just kind of like stupid, like petty flirting. And then it was kind of like, oh, like years later, just kind of after the fact, we're like talking on like AIM late at night or something, and I was like, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you wearing?" Or just like hitting on her because I don't know why I was hitting on her. But she went with it, and I was like, "Oh, whoa, that's working. That's weird. That never works." And so we kind of chat for a while, and then we're like, "Let's you want to get together tomorrow night? You want to meet up?" And I was living at my mom's house then, and it was like the summer, so I didn't have anything to do. I was just kind of dicking around, and so she's like, let's meet up at the park, and I'm like, okay, let's meet up at the park. So I like walk all the way down to the park, which is like a mile from my house, and I'm like, she pulls up in her car, and I'm like, oh hey, how's it going? Good to see you. And kind of like hug and like kiss on the cheek, and then like, she's like, so what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know, you want to go back to my place? And she's like, okay. So we just drive back to my place.
Immediately,
Yeah, I was like, that was easy. And then we wind up like making out in my bed, and she's wearing like this like jean skirt and like a low cut shirt and just looking
it's like
a
Penthouse Forums, Max. I can't
I'm
believe
sorry, I'm just trying to tell the story.
Just do it.
So anyway,
Tell the story. That's it.
okay, we're fooling around, and then like all of a sudden she's only wearing underpants, and she's like on like on top of me, and I'm just kind of like, I was like, wait, we were at the park like 10 minutes ago. How the fuck did this happen?
It was 10 minutes.
Seriously, it was just like it was too easy, and I was like, oh man, and she's like, I'm like in my boxers, and she's like straddling me in her like underpants, and she's like, oh, just be careful, and I'm like, what? And she's like, well, I wouldn't want to like have sex with you by accident, and I'm like, seriously, like. If you're not trying to have sex with anybody, you're really going about it the wrong way. Because, fucking 3 minutes ago you were wearing clothing. I don't.
Yeah, she didn't want you to like sneak it in, but what she wasn't looking or
like,
something.
Oh, you might just
Accident?
slip in there. Because and she was one of those like kind of technical virgins, like, would totally like obviously do stuff with guys, but sex was like a big that is just bad news. But she'll blow you.
I've heard that in the post-Clinton era, like I heard that kids actually believed it when Clinton was like, "I did not have sex with that woman." That's my Clinton impersonation.
I mean, nice girl. She wasn't stupid or anything. It was just kind of like one of those weird things.
Girls like doing stuff like that. They like it.
Right. I don't know. But then after that happened, I was just sort of like, wait, so I'm like not gonna get laid, and this feels dumb. So I'm like lying on my bed, and I just sort of like I think we sort of like roll, like sort of shift over, and she started sitting next to me, and I'm just like lying on my bed, and I start doing shadow puppets on the wall. While she's like, hey, you wanna like do stuff? We could like do stuff. And I was like, I don't know. Hey, like strap. I'm like dead serious. And then I'm just like, how do I bail? I don't know what to do. Like I don't want to.
You were at your house, right? How do you bail?
Yeah. How do I make her leave without being like, this is moving too fast and sounding like a like a loser or eating a giant sandwich. I mean, so what I wound up doing was I sort of climbed over her and then I went and I sat at my computer and I was checking Dig or something and I was like, hey, look, it's a picture of a cat. And she's like lying in my bed in her underwear, do you want to do stuff? You could do, I do things too, And I'm like, I just go, I do my, with the, I get my Laurence Olivier on and I'm just like,
Whoa.
I just don't know. And she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, a minute ago I was doing giraffe shadow puppets.
Did you say you were complicated?
No.
That would be great.
I pretty much let her, I was like, I just don't know. And she goes, are you gay? And I go, I'm like, all right, whatever. And I go, I don't know. And she immediately goes into holy shit, we got a live one. And she comes over and she's like, oh my God, I had no idea. And so she puts her clothes on, whatever, and I'm just like, it's just a weird time for me, or something like that. And I walk her out to her car, and that's the part that made me feel like the worst person. She goes, oh God, I'm so glad Tara's not here. It's just different, with guys, just us guys,
Yeah, and the 15,000
she looks at
listeners.
me and she goes, could I just have one last kiss the way you are now? And I'm like,
Like you were going to turn into a gay pumpkin?
and I just go,
That
I go back inside and I just hit on different girls over AIM. I'm such a fucker.
Oh my God.
The worst part of that is we never discussed it after that. She just, every time she saw me after that, I'm not gay. That's a pretty obvious thing, but I'd go to parties and I'd go home with girls and stuff and I'd see her and she just kind of give me this look fuck you.
Oh, sure. Well, she had to be wondering. I bet she was 75% sure that you just ditched her and 25% thinking, is he just living a lie?
I don't know.
She's probably wondering it. Yeah.
It was funny. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good story.
Wow.
My terrible. I didn't eat a sandwich though.
I got a woman pregnant and forced her to have a back alley abortion. Oh, sorry, got myself confused with the film Alfie starring Michael Caine again. Oh, happens all the time.
He would never do that.
He does in Alfie.
Oh,
Yeah,
with your
Alfie's-
mouth. We get back on the horse.
Alfie is an amazing film stroke play stroke book stroke whatever. It's about a man who is basically like I forget when the film's set, 40s, 50s, but it's that era's Max Scoville. But worse, because he's a proper playboy, total misogynist, exploits women no end. And
Exploit her? She took her shirt off.
sir,
Oh, of course he didn't.
sir, you are a smut peddler. He exploits women, gets this one woman pregnant, and because he's a playboy, he forces her to have a dangerous back alley abortion, because obviously in them days you couldn't just go into a clinic. So, proper coat hanger doctor style type thing. End of the film, he learns nothing and isn't punished in no way. He's just oh, I'll tell you what, I'm a bit bored of all this stuff. I think I'm going to walk off into the distance a bit. And he just walks off having grown. It's like in Clockwork Orange, the original story is Alex Delage just gets bored of it. And it's kind of
grows
that,
up.
But
Well,
except he doesn't grow up, this guy, Alfie. He just he doesn't learn his lesson.
Wow.
And I kind of love stories
Say, Master
like that.
Bruce, some men just want to watch the world burn. It was a ruby the size of a tangerine.
wow, you've seen Dark Knight a lot. I remember
I've
that
seen it
part.
3 times. I just pay attention to Michael Caine when he talks.
As you should. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Alfie had a good soundtrack too, didn't it? Wasn't that Burt Bacharach?
Probably. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I watched it in drama class.
Did you see the
Fucking
Jude Law one? Jude Law?
No, I bet they changed it a bit.
Yeah, he's not as big of a jerk. It kind of lost its meaning.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, what was the meaning? As far as I could tell, the moral of the story was, be an asshole, enjoy life.
I took it to just mean, guess what? People are dicks.
It's like that fucking American History X. As far as I can tell, and I don't agree with it, but as far as I can tell, the message is never trust them. That's the message I get from that film, and I think that's horrific.
I think it's
It's
that.
like the moment you start like not being racist, a black kid will shoot you, and I think that's an awful thing.
I that's another one that I just took to mean, the world is a bad place and there isn't a happy ending. That's
Yeah.
it.
I mean, in all seriousness, I guess it was interesting that it was like, not all black people are assholes, but some of them are.
Sure.
And,
We're all the same.
Life doesn't have a happy ending just because you're not a racist anymore.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing to teach your kids. It's like, look, even if you stop being racist, you might get shot. So do whatever. That's actually, I mean, we've got impressionable youths listening to Podtoid. That's not,
Yeah, we don't believe that. That's just what those movies say.
don't teach your kids.
Watch movies. Watch lots of movies.
Watch American History X and Alfie to get all your life lessons.
How about this? Watch American History X, Requiem for a Dream, and go to bed.
I can't.
Just go to bed.
I can't
Have a
watch
good night.
Requiem for a Dream.
I've seen that movie. I've seen that movie twice. No, once. I've seen that movie once, and it made me fucking cry afterwards.
Yeah,
and I never watched it again,
exactly.
and I still remember it perfectly.
I-
And we make jokes about it,
Yeah, I've watched it once. I will never watch it again because I'm too sad to watch it again. The old lady, like seeing old women who are naive get in trouble, I can't stomach it. And I hate old people, but for some reason, just seeing old women like
Bad guy from Happy Gilmore.
What?
He's got like, Tappy got juice, Tappy! And then it's like fucking Ellen Burstyn, like just overdosing on fucking speed or whatever,
I tell you what, Requiem for a Dream would be better if it was a crossover with Gremlins.
Yeah, it's fine when the old woman in that gets killed by the mechanical chair on the stairs there. It's funny.
I think that they should make a Requiem for a Dream Wii game, like a Wii party game.
Whoa.
One of the game modes would be ass to ass with a Wiimote.
Yeah. Oh, and you can actually call it
for a dream.
Requiem for a Dream, yeah.
Great minds.
Yeah.
That's
There
right.
we go, yeah.
You have to pretend you got your arm cut off because you did too much heroin.
Is that what happens in that movie? Sounds depressing. I haven't seen it. It looks sad.
Fucking horrifying! It's God damn it!
Yeah, I don't feel that way after work, especially after my thing there that I did.
No, you're good. You're good, Holmes. Don't
Yeah,
watch
I'm
Requiem.
Yeah, I got it.
Watch.
Should we talk about the video game news of the week? Aren't you guys excited? I want to hear.
Time for that.
I want to hear. I want to hear how strongly you guys feel about the stuff.
Oh, you just want an excuse to defend that fucking Wii 3DS peripheral again.
I'm not looking to defend it at all.
You want to defend it?
No, of course not. But I am endlessly. Hopefully, I can write a feature about it this weekend. I'm fascinated from second one. I was fascinated with the amazing intensity of people's reaction to it. Like, to me, it was just like, like the UDraw tablet got announced, or it was like, oh, just a thing is coming out that I probably won't use. Who cares? But people went insane over the nub. They went nub crazy.
I think there is a lot of overreaction to it. I mean, let's think of what was it? There's like the Pocket. Was it the Pocket Station? Was that ever a thing? It was like a Sony product.
Not in the United States, but it was
exactly.
out in Japan, yeah.
There were these things that I remember seeing pictures of in like GamePro, like a long time ago. And even now you see them. Remember that boomerang looking controller for the PS3? Like, it's like prototype stuff or stuff that will never come over here. I mean, the disc drive, like for the N64, was it? Like,
yeah, the NES had a modem. There's the Seaman microphone.
Here's the thing, right? Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm not against systems having, silly, shitty little peripherals coming out. The problem with this one is it just seems like the final insult in a long trolling joke that has been the 3DS. That's my problem with it. It's like the thing was clearly rushed out to make investors happy, which is kind of hilariously backfired. Like, it launched without an eShop for 2 months. Games are still, coming in dribs and drabs, and the ones that are coming out are, very spotty. We've had all this trouble with the fucking price drop. We've had the fact that the eShop, even after coming out, is shit. We've had Urban Champion 3 fucking D. And,
It's kind of fun, though.
Shut up. And just for them to suddenly say, you know what? We kind of didn't design this properly. Buy a glorified patch for your console. It just seems to me to be just that final poor joke in what has been a very unfunny sort of tragicom. And that's...
Well, that's what's so interesting to me about it, is that Nintendo had to weave such an incredible path of bad PR and making themselves look bad to the gaming press, and then, as a result, the readers too, in order to get... I mean, they didn't even announce anything. No one knows how much the thing costs. No one knows if it's going to be for only one game. No one knows anything, but everyone just immediately, assumed the worst, and they might end up being right, too.
Well, the thing is, I think Nintendo's history speaks for itself. It's like, oh yeah, I can't wait to buy this peripheral, and I'm going to enjoy it just as much as I did the Wii Motion Plus and the Wii Speak, and everything that's been attached to a DS and a Game Boy. Oh, hey, hi there, Link Cable. You've come along for the party. It's like, we already know how this is going to go because Nintendo's done it so many times, and I guess they might surprise us, but...
Well, I think the thing, if I do write the thing this weekend, I'm going to write about why, all the stuff that led up to this, and specifically what I think Nintendo should do to try to salvage the PR. And the first thing they should do is, if they aren't planning on putting out a reissue or a redesign of the 3DS with 2 analog sticks, they need to promise right now, just come right out and say, we're not putting out a dual analog 3DS for the next 2 or 3 years, and hold true to that, or else people are just not going to buy a 3DS now. They're just going to wait for the dual analog thing, because that's what they think this all means, is that Nintendo is already scrapping the 3DS as it is, and are going to put out something new, and everyone who bought a 3DS already.
I've got no faith in the 3DS. If I hadn't have needed to buy one for my job, I don't think I'd have bought one at this stage. It's like, I've got no faith in it, and it's damaging my thoughts on the Wii U as well, especially with all those rumors that it's having a troubled development.
Oh yeah, everyone can there could come out with a rumor that Iwata eats babies and plans on creating a game about what's the most boring thing you could do? Just sleeping under your own mattress or something.
Reading an email thread between you and Tony Ponce arguing.
Yeah, what's that about? People have to mute emails? They can't just not read them if they don't want?
No, I find them fun.
See, I do that, and then I don't get emails I'm supposed to get, and then people yell at me about stuff like Hamza.
Oh,
Hamza will call me up and say, check your fucking email. And I'm like, don't yell at me. I'm just sitting on my couch at home, and then the phone rings, and I'm like, oh, hi, Hamza. And he's like, check your fucking email. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, that's why you should read your email, because Hamza's going to call you up and yell at you.
Oh yeah, me and Tony, we do tend to chat on email.
I was just spacing out thinking about the nub, the addition of the nub.
Uh-huh.
How much stupider would it be if they made an adapter? Let's say they made a battery plate, kind of clip on extra battery life kind of thing. That had I'm not familiar with the full range of ports that the 3DS has, but what if they made one that accepted the nunchuck from the Wii?
Whoa, that would be crazy.
Because that would save people some money, I think.
Sure.
That wouldn't be crazy. I don't know how much they're going to charge for the new nub, but
I don't know if you could hold it. Yeah, who knows? The nub thing maybe just be $5 or $10. You never know.
It seemed really silly. It turns out to be that cheap.
Yeah.
There's no hell it's going to be that cheap, though.
Well, they got to keep people from getting pissed. I mean, that's the great thing about how pissed people are at Nintendo, is they say that they're listening, and there is the chance in hell that they're actually going to react to the rage that they've induced in the games community and do stuff that the games community wants them to do now. They might do it. You never know. And one theory is that the 3DS with that second nub there will be able to work as a Wii U controller. And that would be kind of neat. All the buttons would be there and stuff.
Ah.
Well, apparently
Yeah.
the current Wii U controller doesn't work for shit, so I'm not surprised.
I don't believe that at all.
I do. My hands in the air. I do.
Well, I know, but you didn't play I played the Wii U at E3. It worked really well. There was no
didn't,
lag,
No, you didn't play the Wii U at E3.
but
You
there was
played.
game.
No, there weren't games for the Wii U at E3.
But I played. I
No,
did
there was
play.
a flying bird, and
No.
played-
Yeah, Jonathan.
at E3 you played a concept.
Right,
There
so-
was a full-on Mario game, 2D Mario game, my favorite kind of Mario game, where I could pull the screen from the TV to the controller, and the controller was not plugged into
What
the.
else did you do
console.
in the game?
Wait, so a 2D Mario game.
It looked like
Right.
an HD version of.
Yeah, well, the rumor
Mario.
says that developers
And there
are having
was
trouble
no
working.
lag
No, it was
on a
perfect.
fucking 2D Mario game.
Yeah. There was-
Really?
Yeah, but Jonathan, the rumor is that developers are having trouble making full-scale games on it and getting it to respond and connect properly. And as far as I'm concerned, making a trade show demo kit designed with games designed like on the most simplistic base demo level is vastly different from sending out test kits to developers to develop full-on $60 games. And I fully believe, because look at the problems. A, these are the accusations. A, the Wii U has been rushed out the door. And B, the wireless connectivity doesn't work properly. Two problems that Nintendo basically exemplify in this industry. Like, their history has already proven they're willing to use the cheapest, quickest parts possible, and
Well,
that they don't understand what the fuck Wi-Fi even means, let alone getting any other kind of wireless connectivity going.
I think that.
My 3DS, Jonathan Holmes, when I
Yeah.
open it, has lines of moisture across the screen.
Oh, does it? Mine's fine.
Oh, well, I'm obviously lying then.
No, I didn't say that, but I
It's
just
a common problem, because the thing was designed by a fucking chimp using Lego.
Where do the lines of moisture come from?
Just people that I don't know where. I don't know if the 3DS sweats or cries because it knows it's a 3DS. I don't know.
Well, if you talk about cheap hardware, I mean, my 360 melted the day
I believe the rumor if it was about Microsoft as well.
Sure, and my PS3 busted too, but the Wii never broke on me. The Wii has weak, hardware obviously, but it's at least sturdy. It's never broken, and my 3DS is working great. My
Give
old
me
DS is-
5 minutes with your Wii, and I will destroy it.
What do you do
Well, if
to
you're
it?
trying to break it, you're probably going to break it,
Well, my
Jim.
point is, they make like physically robust consoles, but I'm talking about like the rumor is there's a cheap chipset in there, and we know that they make these things to sell at a profit most of the time. So it doesn't surprise me that they're using cheap chipsets that probably aren't that robust. I mean, look at the fucking speed of the eShop on the 3DS or the the Wii Shop channel and how long it takes to fucking load that shit, because the Wi-Fi in it's just awful. And that's the bit I'm talking about when I say cheap parts. It's like they use the bargain basement, and again, I believe this of Sony with the stuff they did with the PSP Go, but they use the bargain basement chips and like equipment needed to get the Wi-Fi and the wireless connectivity running, that I totally find it believable. They said nothing in that rumor that I would find out of the ordinary for Nintendo given its history, and it's just exhibited cluelessness when it comes to anything that isn't like dated technology.
Yeah, I think we're in total agreement that Nintendo's recent history, I would say the past 2 or 3 years specifically, just have people expecting the worst from them constantly. There's no rumor bad enough that people wouldn't believe at this point, because so far so bad for them in terms of giving the core consumer what they want of late. But hey, maybe they'll surprise you, Jim, right? You've been surprised before.
Well, here's the thing. I hope so. It's like, I think some people want me to, expecting me to want Nintendo to fail. And the reason I criticize is because I want them to be good, because I enjoy their games, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I enjoy, and I always, enjoy their systems in theory. But it's the handling of them and just the Nintendo's fucking attitude. We were talking about this Nick and myself and a few other guys on the Destructoid staff room, it's like, we'd love them, me and Nick and some others, like, we would love Nintendo to go third party, not because we think they're in any trouble or danger or anything, but just because then they could give us our games and then fuck off.
Yeah.
That's what I'd love more than anything. Give me my Mario.
It'd
give
be
me
so
my
great.
Zelda.
They would make so much money.
Yeah.
They would make so much money.
More
Like,
than
I
they do
remember.
now.
No, like they would make like crazy good money, baloney
More
money,
now. They make a lot of money now. I'm pretty
Spanish banana money.
Well, in
No,
that
like
case.
I don't know. Like,
I remember.
you tell someone they can get Mario on the 360, PS3, and PC, and I reckon it would sell pretty fucking. Like, I think
remember-
it's do better.
I remember back in like 1998 or something. I was at my like a older friend's house. It was one of my teachers, like student teacher's house. Don't ask me why I was there. Whatever. Anyway, we're hanging out and they have a PlayStation, and I'm like, "You got a PlayStation?" And like her boyfriend goes, "Yeah, that's I want to play Mario." And I'm like, "You don't have Mario?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got Metal Gear Solid. It's cool too." And I'm like, "All right, fair enough. But if they had Mario, they could have played that. You know? I mean, it's just like Nintendo's,
I don't know. I think that would be. I don't think their games would. They wouldn't make as much money. I don't think they would start to lose their relevance in people's minds. And a lot of people just wouldn't follow them. I don't think a lot of people would be like, "Oh, they've sold out to the other companies. Forget it then."
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
It just shows. That makes me mad at Nintendo fans. Like,
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
they're.
give a fuck about Like, I like hardware that works, but like, I don't have an Xbox so that I can look at it and play with the controller. I like to play games on it.
Sure.
I don't really have any loyalty to the machine itself. I have loyalty to
Yeah.
games that I can play.
As in, people always ask me my favorite console, and I'm like, what year are we talking about? Because in 2010 it was the PS3, in the first half of 2011 it was the Wii, and in 2009 it was the Xbox 360. It's like, I go where the fucking games are, mate. That's why I've got all the consoles.
Yeah, exactly. I hope there's just a one console future someday. Not one console that you have to buy, but one.
But like
console
PC, yeah.
Yeah, one operating system. You can buy any kind of console you want. You decide how powerful you want it to be and how much money you want to spend, but you can at least try to play any game on it.
Yeah,
That's what I hope
I was
for.
skeptical about such a future, but now I'm so tired. I just do it.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to buy a Wii for a while just so that I can play GameCube games on it, which sounds kind of backwards, but I figure there's a few Wii games I'd want to play too.
Yeah, there's some great Wii games.
The problem is
As
I
you
don't,
know.
it's like for the price it costs to buy a new console, or used console, whatever. I could buy a whole lot of games, and it's like
The way the Wii makes up for it though is thankfully all of their
Fucking
even their
Wii,
best
so I can
games. All of their best games are still like $8 or $10. I mean, you can get No More Heroes 2 for like $15, and you can
I
get
just wanna
Mad
play
World for
fucking- I just wanna
$8.
play fucking Zelda, man. Like I want to play fucking Wind Waker.
Oh, well, that's expensive. Yeah,
Is it? Is it really expensive?
it's not really expensive, but it's still like $30.
It costs more than it should. And I love Wind Waker, but in this day and age, it should have depreciated a bit.
No, that's how much
I don't-
people appreciate it. I mean, that's
Don't
used.
like that
It's
video
still
games are going the way of comic books because I mean, if they're doing that, like companies need to get more on the ball about reprinting or re-releasing them. I guess they are doing that, but like
Yeah, they'll all be available digital
Yeah.
for $5 pretty soon.
Oh, when the Wii U comes out, you see how many Wii games come out as HD re-releases. It's going to be fucking amazing to see.
oh god,
Yeah, it's going to be just like a glorious pissing on everyone ever. And I like HD re-releases of PS2 games and what have you, but you watch as they start remaking this generation's games.
Yeah, it's funny. I heard an inside thing about that, and even the developer who told me about it, he's like, "It's a bad idea. I don't want to do it, but that's where the money's at." So they already have some Wii U stuff like that in mind. So I've heard. I almost let my scoop out. They'd be really mad if I just said that's what we were talking about journalism before. I got journalism in my head right now. Got this awesome scoop of journalism, but I can't tell you because they'd be sad.
I've decided I'm going to start doing wormalism, where I will write about worms that I see in my backyard.
Sounds good. I hope you do it.
We've been doing this too long.
This has been a great podcast, you guys.
It's been alright. It's been okay.
Yeah, I like
It's
it.
a bit more low key than usual. We've been a bit. I guess we wore ourselves out doing one that's.
Well, you did 2 a
week.
week. Yeah, you already did one this week. It's not that easy to do this almost every day or every other day.
Plus, I was playing Blood Rain Betrayal before I went on, so that always puts me in a bad mood.
I heard that game makes people mad.
It disappoints me.
Oh, that's too bad. I still want to just look at it. I may buy it. For
It wants to be Castlevania, but it's not.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
And she's always running, right? She's like, you can't just walk.
Oh, she fucking... Yeah, like, when you try and make her stop, like, she just skids. And it's like, you need precision in a game like that, especially if you're going to put really precise platforming in. Don't make her skid around. It's awful. And
that's too bad.
It's like, you
You guys
can't...
talking about Tub Girl?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was in the bathroom.
That's all right. I bought Adam Dork Blood Rain 2.
He doesn't deserve gifts.
Oh, he bought me President Cat, the Japanese Wii game about a cat who's a CEO of a pharmaceutical company who needs to learn how to play the piano.
Damn it, Japan.
I love it. I can't wait to play it. I've been too busy with Star Fox, which I have to record the video review for your show, Max. I don't know if Zach told you, but he wants me to do a thing. I'm like stubbly and bald right now. That's Star Fox 1. That's my favorite Star Fox.
I know. That's a fucking jam.
That's a good.
Love
game.
that song. It's like
that music's song. Really good. Yeah.
I also like doing that.
Yeah, me too. Good luck. You know that one? It's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, my ears hurt for having headphones on. I want to stop now and do a wee-wee from my willy. So, thank you for listening as usual. Yeah, I'm just doing the goodbyes, mate. Yeah, say goodbye for a bit. That wasn't racist. That's
that?
I don't know. I was doing a funny voice and then halfway through I thought it sounds racist.
That wasn't intelligible enough to be racist. I don't know what the fuck that was.
In that case, forget you ever heard it. Thank you for listening to Podtoid as usual. Let's say, I mean, it's wasn't as shouty as usual, but you're lucky you're getting one with the amount of bullshit we had to go through. But no, thank you. We are the lucky ones, I guess.
That erotic we got erotic autobiographical storytelling from Max Scoville.
That is true.
It's pretty amazing.
I have so many stories like that. It's terrible. It's so terrible.
I can't wait to hear more. We're gonna have a great time one of these days.
So terrible.
The erotic episode
ever.
Let's do it for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we'll do a Valentine's Day special where we just hear about the lives Max has ruined. Well, that's 8 months of pre-release hype.
Okay.
I'm going to go look at Aliens comics.
So
I'd like to thank Max Scoville for coming on. And I would like to thank Jonathon Holmes for coming on. You can catch Max and Tara Long, who's not normally with us, on the Destructoid Show Monday, Wednesday and Friday on YouTube and posted on Detoid. And myself and Jonathon Holmes, we're always hanging around Destructoid.com. And you can always watch The Jimquisition on The Escapist. Might as well plug that, I know. Every Monday.
Oh, I might make 2 new shows this weekend. And I'm glad you reminded me. I want to invite both of you to be on it. One of them's called Teenage Pokemon. And it's about Pokemon that are halfway. They're not, starter Pokemon. The kind you get when you first open up the Pokeball, and they're not fully evolved. They're in that awkward second evolution stage, and they act like teenagers. They really.
That's funny.
Yeah, you can be a Pokemon.
Those all suck. Mid ones always suck. Charmeleon, they're fuck.
Yeah, it'll be Charmeleon and what's Oshawott turn into again? Like Schwag or something. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I might need you guys to just pretend to be pissed off teenagers.
I could be a Pokemon, dude.
I'm into that.
We're terrible at that.
Yeah, just record whatever you want, and I'll try to animate it. Teenage Pokemon. So I'm going to do that, and I might try to do a show this weekend called Talking to Women About Video Games, which hopefully will be fun to do.
Oh, you need my help for that one.
I wish you were here, or I wish I were there.
I'm the best at talking to girls. I have no idea how to talk to girls anymore. I've been in a relationship.
I've seen you do it.
beer
Yeah,
and change.
you're good, just good at talking to people in general, Max Scoville. But anyway, yeah. So those are two shows I might try to do. So watch for them if I do actually make them.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, then.
Stuff.
Take care, everybody. Safe
Bye.
travels. Bye.
Bye.